clean start from everyone. Look at Matt Cotter getting super taily off the front line.
Look at Maury around the outside. He's trying the trailer park girl M&M style. Can't get the job done. But
what a start there from everyone.
Does look to the inside. It's very late and aggressive there from Fitness. And there's contact.
3 wide here, coming into T1. Oh, this is going to be a disaster. And he got a send from a mile away from Doc Elliott.
Oh, what is going on here? Side by side into the pit lane.
Because he's really, really under pressure here. Cracking stuff.
Very close there, maybe a little bit of contact.
He switches back at turn 7. He has the run. It's going to be a final corner run here.
Oh, geez, how'd they all get through that?
The magician has pulled the rabbit out of the hat up into 4th position.
Going to get it pulled up here and take the inside position there for Maury. Maury's seen him coming.
Now Benny Asplin just sending it from fucking miles back.
Just got to get that nose right up where the sun doesn't shine.
He's absolutely all over the back of Pearso towards turn 12, 13 and 14.
He's here. Oh, no, they've touched. And Joel's round.
What a move there from Marshall. He goes up to 2nd position.
Oh, it's a drag race here now. Looks like Moore's got the job done.
Who's going to take the race victory?
It's all on like Donkey Kong here. There's sheep station stuff over the top 10.
Pearso is just going to hold on, and he wins.
He's in the wall. He's out. He's facing the wrong way. Absolute disaster here.
He's back there. Oh, what's happened here?
A dead set.
He's got him.
He's got him.
It's a tie.
It's a tie for the lead. Matt Cotter and Alice McGill have taken an identical lap time to the finish.
Good evening, viewers. Oh, we're back here on a Sunday. Welcome to SimSational TV. My name is Chris Munro in the studio tonight, hanging out solo until I get some help from the cavalry later on in Lindsay Muddle. But for tonight, for at least the first race, it will be me solo here in the studio. It's the Tier 2 of the Gen 3 V8 Supercars up first. Ladies and gentlemen, we're racing at Barbagallo tonight, and it's going to be an absolute cracker. Round 7 of 8, so we're in the championship round tonight. Ding dong. We're going to look out for some knockout blows from these guys here battling for the front. Let's have a look at the standings here up front. Because of the promotion and demotion system, Bill Kosmarikis has jumped out to the lead over Ashiak and Folis. They're in 3rd position. Jimmy Park, Clayton Waters, Rick Banachek, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, with Schmerley, Warwick, Fitness and Crowther rounding out the top 10. Brock, King, Daniel, Falzon, DeLuca, Spencer, Harrison, Higgins, Singleton and Ryan Nielsen make out your top 20. And I tell you what, the boys are just getting fired up to get out there for their half-an-hour battle. So without further ado, I think we're just running a tad bit behind tonight. So let's go and check out the format for tonight's racing. That is way bigger than I thought it was going to be, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just bring that into the centre. That's crazy stuff. Anyway, we are at carco.com.au Raceway, formerly known as Wanneroo Raceway, formerly known as Barbagallo. 9 turns of sweeping fast goodness. 2.4 Ks, and that's about it. It's short and sweet. Quali's 10 minutes long, and the first race of the night will be the Super 2s. That's a 30-minute shootout with a mandatory compound change. So we'll see those guys having to either start on the softs or the super softs. Tier 1, the big boys tonight. They're going to start off with a 37-lapper with a mandatory pit stop. Following that will be the feature race of this evening. 76 laps around this beautiful circuit over there in Western Australia. Going to be a reverse top 13. Lucky for whoever gets up the front there, or perhaps unlucky. Who knows? We'll find out later on. But a mandatory 2-stop minimum. So we're going to see, well, certainly a 2-stop strategy. Maybe 3, maybe 4, depending on what happens, because there is no tyre mandate there in that one. Fastest during the week, that was Matty Cotter out there with a 55.983. That's pretty quick. These boys are all just sort of slightly dipped. There was a few of them dipping into the 55s during the week, so that's quick. And because it's such a small, little, quick circuit, the gaps are going to be absolutely minuscule. Smaller than a pubic hair, if you're that way inclined, ladies and gentlemen. Still just waiting on the server to pop up here at the moment. It's let's see if we can get the calendar up. No, it's not going to happen for us tonight. Super 2. Let's get back to the standings here and just have a look. How close we are at the top. Bill is out by roughly 100, a little bit less. So with the way the points work, it's about 300 or so for a win. So pretty much any of those guys in the top 5, if they can get a good start here, get a good win, they can just rocket up the order there and find themselves really knocking on the door for the last round of the season. But because of the, I guess, the promotional and demotional system, there's some guys that are well above these guys in terms of points who did start off in Tier 2. So there is no real official winner of Super 2 this season. It's all just one continuous standings board, and whoever gets to the very, very top is the winner of V8 Supercars. And I'm pretty sure that is Matt Cotter at the moment. But we are just getting ready to enter the server, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be back very shortly with race 1. So keep tuned in. That is Matt Cotter at the moment. But we are just getting ready to enter the server, ladies and gentlemen.
Take it all back, it doesn't make a difference to me.
So keep
it's the fact that you're gone and that you're moving on. Oh my God. And I wish that you were crying. Cynical, but I'm not lying. So I can stop myself tonight. You're moving on. Oh my God. Myself reviving stupid cliches that you thought for one blind second it's someone would treat you better than you know one that sees any value in me. It's okay, Liana, I'm hoping you had yourself fun. Cause I'm stuck over thinking, I'm stuck over thinking it's okay, Liana, but I'm at the 1:15. Just stuck over thinking, stuck over thinking so stop overthinking, to stop overthinking it. If you get any idea of what you mean to me one day,
Alrighty, folks, we're down here on the grid now. Currently 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. I know you're all itching to find out the standings or the order of how these guys are going to get around the circuit. So let's have a look at that. Starting at the very back, we've got Dutton and Fararu off row 12. I think they're all missing, though, all these guys, Bensley and Scowen off row 11. Let's keep going with Richard Fakuri, Tony DeLuca off row 10, Jimmy Park and Dax Daniel off row 9. Now, I think we might get a few of these guys showing up. We've got Richard King off row 8 with Mr. Kelly. Josh Kelly, perhaps? Jason Kelly? Who knows? I'll have to find that out at the break. Good commentary, Chris. Very good, very good. Off row 7, Clayton Waters there in the Ninja Turtle outfit. I love that livery. Sean North off row 7 next to him. In front of those guys, we've got Gray Ward and Liam Hanley off row 6. Off row 5, Joel Ashiak and Shawnee Mitchell. Now we're starting to get to the pointy end, ladies and gentlemen. Jojo Higgins off row 4 with Gary Postlethwaite. Off the 3rd row, Lee Crowther and Justin Foulis. And the top 4 in qualifying, Rick Banachek on his inside, or outside actually, is Fabian Fitness. With Steve Warwick in 2nd position, and pole position is now Matt Munro. We've had an issue with the server, ladies and gentlemen, as Fabian Fitness has just told us like that. So it'll be another small wait until we get confirmation of that being reset, and we'll be back again with the start of this race, hopefully. More messages coming in about the server restart. So, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats, hold on to your nuggets. We'll be back after a short hiatus because it's definitely Barbagallo says Fabian Fitness. It is. We're here over in Western Australia, so get your Western hats on, if that's a thing. I don't know. They're a strange bunch over there in Western Australia. But let's go for a short break while they get this server figured out, and we're going to be back in, hopefully, as short a time as possible. So let's go for a short break while they get this server figured out. Hopefully, shorter time as possible. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, after a short little hiatus, and we're almost ready for a start. Here we go. My mic is too soft, apparently. There we go. Let's try that. We're about ready for a start now. We can see the pole position is actually on the outside here. We're ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. We are now racing in the Tier 2. And it looks like Matt Munro's just got an absolutely cracking start. He will lead into turn 1. Steve Warwick getting overtaken on the outside by Fabian Fitness. And that's Lee Crowther as well, just sweeping around the outside. Oh, Fitness has been bumped there by Steve Warwick, and he goes off the circuit. Both those cars are disadvantaged now. They go and lose about 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10 positions. Both of them are going to go to the very back. That's unfortunate stuff there for both of those guys. Gary Postlethwaite, however, has gone up the order, up to 4th position now. He is cheering about that, I can tell you that much. But down here, it looks like Kelly's had a bit of an issue as well. He was facing the wrong way just slightly. But up here now, Fitness will ride on board with him and see if he can cut his way through. Down at turn 6, that's Higgins off the track as well. They started so good up there earlier on and now just dropping down the order. But Fitness, as we saw, had a cracking start and was basically pole-axed there into turn 1. So he'll be driving with a little bit of the red mist under the helmet. He's on the inside here of Clayton Waters and makes that overtake stick so far. But I tell you what, Waters is just hanging it fat out there around the outside, and he hasn't really lost touch with him yet. They're going into turn 1 now, and Fabian Fitness will probably just look to consolidate this. But up the whoa, almost a replay of what happened in lap 1. Geez, these boys are just, they love getting it all hang out there and stuck into each other. It's good to see. After one lap, Matt Munro is already out to almost a 2-second lead advantage over Lee Crowther there in the Castrol Mustang. It looks absolutely beautiful as well. Behind them is Rick Banachek, who's just took advantage of all the kerfuffling there at the start of this race, and he's sitting pretty, about 1.2 seconds advantage to Posy back there. Behind him is Joel Ashiak, made up a number of positions off the start as well. Fabian just working his way through, and Warwick and Higgins now battling it out down here for 9th position. It looks like Warwick has got the job done there. Higgins maybe just a little bit undercooked here at the moment, but up here, here's a battle. It's Waters and Gray Ward just going way wide there, giving Waters the up and under, but looking for a bit of an up and under treatment himself. Could not get the power down fast enough. So, ooh, 2 wheels off the ground there as well. Very stylish. Gets a 10 out of 10 for me in the style points. Let's ride on board with Steve Warwick because he's got Grey Ward in his sights here. And I'll tell you what, these two are no stranger to each other in the old battling department. Grey Ward, we've seen, he's had a bit of a topsy-turvy season so far. But I'll tell you what, this turn 6, we're going to see it all night, ladies and gentlemen. There are just so many different ways and different lines you can take around it. Server just doing a bit of rubber banding stuff there as well. Steve Warwick pulling alongside there. Ooh, a little bit of an overlap, but manages to, I guess, just pull out of it. He doesn't want to get in too much trouble again after his little lap 1 incident. So he's clawing his way back, and Justin Fullis, we've seen with plenty of pace in these Gen 3 Supercars. There's a touch as well. There goes Steve Warwick. That's his second victim of the night now. He's just been Grey Ward around. Just caught the end of it. It looked like there was contact. Certainly looked like it to my eye, but I don't think Warwick's slowing down. There is no redress there, so maybe some contention there from the driver's seat of Steve Warwick, and that one will go upstairs to the bunker. Let's see what sort of decision they make after the fact. But here's Fabian Fitness on the rear bumper there of Joel Ashiak, and just pulls out late into turn 9, gets the job done. Beautiful stuff there, and he goes on his merry way up to 5th position. Mind you, Matt Munro just stretching his legs out in front. 2.5 seconds the advantage now over Crowther. So his last lap around was a 56.7, plays a 57.1. So yeah, almost half a second between those two guys on pace alone. Gary Postlethwaite and Banachek pretty close on track. About 6/10 as they both take advantage of that little grassy apron on the outside of the kink up there. But both just neutralised now in the pace department. We'll see if there's any other battles shaping up. There is. Joel Ashiak he has been overtaken by Fabian Fitness there in the number 3 Mustang. And the KFC man here, he's got the wicked wings sitting there on the front seat, fogging up the the windscreen. Oh, I must be hungry because that livery is looking mighty good to me at the moment. There he is, the Colonel. Might be taking a little trip up the road here after the commencement of this broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting some wicked wings of my own, but here's a little 3-way battle here. Steve Warwick at the back, Cam Waters at the front. I'm forever calling him Cam, and why not? Here they go down the hill for the 6th time, and Foolish just under brakes, gets that job done. Cam Waters just pulling up a bit and blocking Steve Warwick, so there was no way through for Warwick this time, as Waters just gets a little bit squirrely as well. Warwick ditching his line to go to the outside. Now they're going to go side by side here, all the way up to the top of the hill into the final turn. Cam Waters just pulling out of it. Sending it up there, but not enough to cause any sort of headaches there for Steve Warwick. So both of those guys get the job done, and Foolish has been released. Look at the gap he's put on these two already down to about 6 or 7 tenths. So he's absolutely flying. So he's got, with all that battling, he's lost about 4.5 seconds to touch with Joel Ashiak up in front of him. So he's still got a bit of work to be done. But doesn't mean that it cannot be done there in the Snowy River colours there. The Ford Mustang. Down the back here, we got Kelly and Schmerley having a little bit of a go. Higgins is off the road. What's happened there? Let's see if we can get a view. Oh, through turn 4. That's an awkward place to go off because it's all just downhill from the outside there, and you can end up pretty much all the way over to the other side of the circuit. And these cars do not like the grass one little bit. They do not like traction on the old grassy route, so that's taken poor old Higgins down to 15th. Schmerley's dropped off the track as well and has been overtaken by Richard King. King Ding-a-ling. What a name there, old Dickie King there. He's down here in 13th. He doesn't need to win any races. He's got the name of the century, ladies and gentlemen. Up the front, it's starting to heat up though. Banachek just getting a bit closer to Crowther there. The two Mustangs, two really nice liveries as well. Just separated by about 4/10 on the circuit right now. Can anyone reel in Matt Munro? He's got that gap out to 3.4 seconds here at the moment. He's just got to consolidate that. You'd expect him just to keep turning the screws. Doesn't need to push too hard either. Just get to, what, half race distance, change the tyres, and away we go. Good evening to everyone in the chat. We've got, who have we got? Dean Hanley, Kermit the Frog, that's Husey. Fitness, obviously, doing a bit of multitasking. He can chat and race. He can do it all, this guy. Don't you worry about that. Taylor Simmons, F1 Clarence as well. Lee Crowther fan. He says, let's get him, Lee. And he's going all right. Lee Crowther up there in second position. We'll get a look at him after this little battle, and just to see what happens here between these three guys. They're all obviously very evenly paced here near the front of this pack. So there's about half a second between them. So it's just comes down to a matter of, well, mistakes. If one guy makes a little mistake, that is going to just drop him into the lap of the car behind. But it seems all three of these guys are fairly mistake-free. As I say that, Posse just gets a big slide on the way out of turn 1 and 2. But it hasn't hurt him too much, to be honest. I think he's got plenty of pace under the bonnet there of that Camaro too. So Banachek just in the middle of this little sandwich at the moment. Not a bad place to be, sitting third on the road. But as we said, we've got a mandatory compound change, so we can go through. I guess it looks like the top 9 are all on the soft tyre. They all started on the soft, and we're 9 laps through, and we've stopped seeing the fastest lap notification pop up. So perhaps the soft tyres are probably starting to neutralise there out in front. Here goes Postlethwaite into the pit lane, and he's followed exactly by Fabian Fitness as well. So maybe 9 laps or 10 laps is about as far as you can push these soft tyres. So we might see a few of these guys perhaps diving in and coming out to service their pit and their tyre change and come out on the hards for the remainder of this race. It's going to be around It's going to be around 30 laps, I suppose, because it's about a minute, 56 seconds if you're Rick Banachek, to get around this circuit. So, yeah, it's going to be about a half an hour race. Well, it is certainly a half an hour race. It's going to be about a 30 lapper. What am I talking about? Rick Banachek, however, he's got Lee Crowther in his sights. You can see he's just made up a whole bunch of ground there off the final turn. He might even be close enough to be thinking about where he might want to make this overtake. He's going to try and hang it fat around the outside. Crowther going the inside-outside sort of a double apex maneuver there through the opening couple of turns. It's a nice way to do it. That's how I would do it. Used to love the old double apex through there. And this turn here, he's done it again. Hangs out wide to about 3/4 track, dips it back in, and just slingshots his way through the kink. And you can see visually just him disappearing down the straight there. So both of these guys having differing lines, as you can see, again, down into turn 6. But I think maybe Crowther just a little bit deep on the brakes there. So maybe not his ideal line, as Banachek uses the inside, hugging the inside technique, which I think probably is the go down there at turn 6. But it all just depends on how you've got the car set up to behave. Some guys like a car that can handle sort of those mid to high speed turns where you're really leaning on those outside tyres, whereas a lot of guys like to go for the softer rear end, where you can just pull it up, get the car squatted down, and V off the corner is, I think, the technical term. There's Higgins off the road again, just up there at turn 4. So having some issues there, certainly in turn 4 for Higgins. Buffu says this guy's braking is diabolical. He's very good under brakes, absolutely. You can see the throttle trace down there. Look there might be an opportunity now. They're going to be almost side by side. Let's have a look from the chopper cam for the first time. They're going down the straight here. Banachek opting to get out of the slipstream. He's going to try and go around the outside here in the final turn. He does not get the desired effect there, but the momentum swing is going to keep that pressure on as he looks down into turn 1. They're side by side now. Bit of an overlap. This could be it for Banachek. Just looking around the inside, he's got the aid of having the radius on his side, and Banachek just slides up into second position, gets that job done. Really nicely set up there from Banachek as well. This was a chess move. He was thinking 3 or 4 moves ahead. That's how you got to do it out here in V8 Supercar land, ladies and gentlemen. Got that set up down there in turn 6 and consolidated down into turn 1. So Banachek finally released from the Crowther grip, and he will try to do his best to make up that gap out there to Matt Munro out in front. But, I mean, 5.5 seconds down the road. He is all but got this wrapped up. But as I say that, we're only about halfway through the race. There's still pit stops to come for a lot of these guys as well. Speaking of pit stops, here goes Crowther. He said, I've had enough of this. And he pumps himself into the pits. 14 laps through. He's going to have to come out on a hard set of tyres. So we'll see what happens there. Warwick's made his way up to 3rd position. Still yet to pit for him as well. We've seen Postlethwaite and Fitness into the pit lane. We've seen Crowther in through the pit lane as well. Down here, Dax Daniel started on the hard. So did Fullis and Schmerley. Cam Waters is coming into the pits. I know his name's Clayton, but I mean, you see C. Waters on the timing tower there for a V8 Supercar race. It's very hard to break that habit. Let's look down here. Ashiak's on the back of Grey Ward now. I swear I did have a livery for Grey Ward. I'm not too sure why it's not showing up. However, he's the only car out there that's white, so we know it's him. It's just not as pretty looking, but the leader has come into the pits now. Matt Munro just peeling in. We're going to see where he comes out. I expect him to come out in front of Lee Crowther. He's moving now. We can get a good look at it. Here he goes out onto the circuit now. And still about 14 seconds behind Crowther, 15, as Crowther now just coming across the start-finish line. So Matt Munro out there on the hard set to the end. Rico Banachek is out there adopting the lead. But there's been a big shake-up here in the positions. But down here it's Ashiak Fowlis. Ashiak just locking up the front right-hand tyre there into turn 1. You don't want to be doing that too often, I'll tell you what, because once you lock the tyres up once, they have a tendency to just keep on doing it, and in the same spot as well. That's called flat spotting, viewers. And if you do it too much, your tyres can turn into what look like 50-cent coins by the end of it. Lots of little flat spots, and every time you get on the brakes, you're just puffing out smoke out the back like what's his name? Bob Marley's tour van. So, fair bit of that to come. Here's Grey Ward, though. He's struggling a little bit. He's been overtaken by both of these guys, but hasn't quite lost touch of Ashiak just yet. Silly boys, you'll never learn. What's going on there? Goodness me, I'm just catching up on the chat. Harley Marshall having a great time at home on a Sunday. Why not? Actually, you should totally get in to the server, mate. You might just find yourself on another level, perhaps. So that's good stuff. Oh no, Fabian's punted Crowther there. But he's got back on the circuit. They've both lost a couple of seconds out of it, but no positions yet. But Gary Postlethwaite is looming in the background. We'll get back to that. But here's Fitness. He's got the run too. He might just even have a little dip here. But I think out of respect for the little punt down there in turn 6, he does not do that. If he was home. So, all right. You're out in the wilderness. And Ron, the old boy, loving that. That's hilarious. Is Jesse with you as well? That's really good. That's funny. I'm jealous. Hopefully you got tomorrow off work. That's good stuff. Anyway, his fitness. Look at Crowther just missing the apex there by an absolute country mile through the kink. That opens the door for Fabian, and he'll just slide down the inside there at turn 6 up into the podium positions. Great work from him. He was right there. I mean, that's where he started off in this race, ladies and gents. He was up there. Punted in the first turn and had to pretty much go back to last. And it's only taken him 17 laps to get back to where he was. Another 6.5 seconds up the road to Banachek, so it's probably a tall order to get that job done, but certainly a great race from him to get up there in the end. Anyway, Grey Ward still just in touch with Joel Ashiak down the back here. Not threatening in any way, but Ashiak looking pretty squirrely on the way into turn 1. You see the back end just stepping out. Harley Marshall says he's got work tomorrow. Yeah, right. I'm sure you're calling in sick, my boy. But now it's advertised all over SimSational TV on what you're doing tonight. So hopefully your boss isn't tuned in. But what you do in your own time is none of your boss's business. It's Australia. Goodness me. Here's Lee Crowther. Let's ride on board with him and just see, because he hasn't yet lost touch with Fabian Fitness here either. It's only 3/10, so he's still got the aid of the bit of the Barbagallo suck. And you're going to need every bit of that too around this circuit, because there's not many turns to make it up. So when you get onto that final straight, you can really stay in touch with someone. If you can get within that sort of 3 or 4/10 range, and you can see the difference in acceleration there as well. As Fabian Fitness got pretty good drive off some of these corners, whereas you can see Lee Crowther just sort of drives it in with a little bit more entry speed as well. So differing driving styles from these two guys as well. Seems everyone uses that bit of grass apron out there on the kink. And why not? If it doesn't slow your car down, it's good just to use up every inch that's available to you on a race circuit. Here's a little battle forming down here. A couple of Camaros here. Steve Warwick, and he's got Posy just there in front of him. There in the tradie livery. You can see just closing in here into the final turn. That's 20 laps done, ladies and gentlemen. Jeez, it's gone quick. It has gone absolutely quick. But speaking of going quick, both of these guys, actually all of these guys out there doing a fantastic job. Jojo Higgins, however, is a minute behind. Possibly a lap as well. We've seen them go off the circuit a couple of times here at turn 4. But look at this. There's an errant blue flag of Dax Daniel just getting out of the way here. And both these guys are side by side now, banging doors up through the top of the hill here. Postlethwaite holding on by the skin of his teeth. He's going to go in deep here, a little bit sideways as well, drifting into turn 6. But it looks like Warwick's got that car set up and nice and settled on the throttle. Oh, geez, that's close as well. A little bit of contact, but it's not going to hurt him. Warwick's up beside him and will just give him a bath on the way down through into turn 9. That's good driving, good awareness there from Warwick, because Postlethwaite was just having a nightmare trying to get on the power as he does it again. So the rear tyres on that thing are absolutely burnt out. He's going to be struggling here as well, because here comes Foolis right up behind. And you can see just, we'll get a good view of it here, of how cooked those rear tyres are from Gary Postlethwaite's car. He was certainly just struggling to get the power on there before. And you can see him just sliding out there through turn 4. Seems to have got him back together there, but now another big slide on the exit of the kink. I think it's just a matter of time here before Foolis can just slide it up the inside here at the fishbowl. Oh, nicely done. I think Posy wanted to turn in, but saw that bright blue-green aqua-coloured Mustang up the inside and thought better of it. And good awareness there from him, just to avoid turning in. But Foolis on a comeback trail here. The majority of the guys out there on the hard tyre now at the moment. You can see the bottom 5 from Schmel all the way down to Higgins, opting to start on the hard. And now they've all switched to the soft. And I think that's, well, the proof's in the pudding there of the strategy call. The top 10, the top 9, all starting on the softs, switching to the hards halfway through. And it's worked out well for them, and the poor old Schmerley all the way down to Higgins just couldn't get the job done there. And yeah, just opting for the wrong strategy call there. It's often good to do a bit of strategy work in your preparations for a race. You've got 2 weeks in between racing here at AK Racing, so it's good to go and do a few race stints out there and just have an overall timer going and just see what's better when the conditions are right. You know, you can start off. I always say it's good to start on the soft tyre, just because you've got the advantage of that grip early on in the race, when you've got so many other things to worry about when you're close quarter racing, wheel to wheel. And if you're struggling for grip, you're going to find yourself just a little bit flustered as well, and you can sometimes compound that and make more mistakes than you otherwise would. Not only that, but I guess just the drive off the line is much better on the soft compound tyre. So, little tip there for the ladies and gentlemen out there behind the wheel. Always try and start on the soft tyre, but given the rules and regulations here, sometimes at AK Racing, that is impossible because you're told them which tyre compound to start off with. But today, it was the soft runners starting off that had the advantage. None more than this man here on screen. He's 24 laps down, and he's got a 5, almost 6 second advantage over Rick Banachek. He doesn't have to set the world on fire here in pace-wise. He just needs to go through his motions, hit his markers, and this will be a victory to the Munro camp. We'll come back to him later on. Who have we not seen today? Let's have a look at Jacob Kelly. I got him wrong earlier on in the stream. His name's not Josh or Jason. It's Jacob. Good to have you on board, Jacob. Well, there's a beautiful livery as well. The nice colour scheme there. The HSV Mobile 1 toll entry. Maybe a Gisbergen fan with the 97, perhaps. Hard to say, but he's doing his work. He's doing his best out there. Probably might. No, just coming into the pits there. I was going to say he might need to work on his racing lines there as well, but he was just getting geared up to come into the pit lane. It's in an awkward spot, this pit lane as well. It's kind of, well, as soon as you exit the final turn, you're there, and the pit lane just sort of pops up to your right. Really hard, so you've got to take that final turn a little bit slower than you usually would, which can cause some accidents out there. I've seen it firsthand, ladies and gentlemen, when you've got, 6 or 7 cars all nose to tail, and one of them decides it's time to go into the pits. You've got to be ready for that, because they're going to check up a little bit harder than they usually would going into this turn here on your screens. And make a beeline there to the right, as you can see, where that pit lane entry starts. So some racing leagues you see take the old pit entry, which is about 3/4 of the way down the main straight. I don't know if that's available to us here in this version of the mod, but there's also the old pit lane as well on the outside of the pit straight. So there's a few options there for some of these leagues if they want to use it. So you can see Rick Banachek now on your screens. His last lap out was a 57.6, only 7/10 off his best. So that's a really good consistency there from Bananarama. He's gone from strength to strength since he's joined AK Racing as well. Certainly one of the more formidable drivers out there. And that's what it takes, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little bit of persistence and practice, and you just find yourself earning better and better results as the thing goes on. We've got DOHCK series in the chat saying, "I've been a joke recently. RIP. Tell the boys sorry for being a weapon recently." I will tell them, but I've got no idea who you are there, Mr. DOHCK. Might have to help me out with that one. But, down here, Brandon Schmelz made his way up past Gary Postlethwaite, who must have had a bit of a shocker there. Made his way down to 10th position. It's all happening in the all happening in the chat. Ah, goodness me. Good to have you in there, Ronnie. Keeping the guys, keeping them honest. It's good stuff. Ah, right, yep. Jojo Higgins has decided to depart the server and jump on the chat. Now, we saw you fall off the track a couple of times there at turn 4, which is not ideal at all. But here's a bit of action here. Look at that. Grey Ward just copping a little bit on the side panel there from Gary Postlethwaite. They'll go side by side here with 2 minutes to go. So it all comes down to this: who wants to be into the top 10? Grey Ward has the outside, but didn't think about covering him off. I don't know why, but here goes Postlethwaite just sliding it in really deep, but manages to pull it up. The car control there is pretty good, ladies and gentlemen. Here goes Wardy looking to the inside, now has the advantage into turn 1. Postlethwaite turns in like he's not even there, but there goes Postlethwaite off the circuit. And they will battle on as Matt Munro comes to lap him. Take a lap off him as well. That's one less you have to do at the end, Posse. But maybe a little bit more awareness required there into turn 1. Just we saw on the screens, just turned in like this car was invisible. So Grey Ward in the clear there. Here's another little battle writhing up towards the end. It's Schmerley for AC Karting. Just going around the long way there for Clayton Waters. Great stuff as well, just getting the power down. He is on the quicker set of tyres, so it's probably here towards the end of the race where you will see these guys on the soft tyre starting to take advantage of that. But I think the damage has been done anyway. But let's look up the front here, because the battle for 4th position's on now as well. Steve Warwick, after a couple of little indiscrepancies early on in this race, has found himself up battling for 5th position. Where's Matt Munro? This is going to be the second final lap for these guys. Here goes Warwick having a look up the inside. Crowther maybe just baiting him there, having a couple of cars width there on the inside. So, you know what, go for it, Warwick. I'm going to have the momentum around the outside. It's right on board with Warwick, because he can see Crowther maybe just struggling on those hard set of tyres here at the moment. Battle for 4th is on here, well and truly. Warwick, I think, definitely has the pace, but as we've seen, this is a pretty hard circuit to force an overtake at. It's just not quite close enough here to have a dip into turn 1. But here's your race 1 winner, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Munro, turning the final turn for the last time. Gets on the power, a little bit of a sideways show for the ladies and gentlemen at home. Crosses the line for the win here in Super 2. He'll be happy with that. It was untouched pretty much for the whole thing. Banachek crossing the line there in 2nd position. A small wait in the order for Fabian Fitness, who was up against it again. He's going to have to put a target on the back of his car, because it seems to be doing the trick. Lee Crowther holding off the fast finishing Steve Warwick for 4th and 5th. Justin Fowlis across the line in 6th position. Joel Ashak just rounding the final turn as well. He will cross the line in 7th. Posy waiting a little bit as well for Brandon Schmerl, who left it late for his comeback, but he did. Comes across the line in P8 with Clayton Waters just in tow. Grey Ward holding on for the top 10 with fast finishing Postlethwaite as well. We saw those two guys come together a couple of laps ago, but it wasn't enough for him to get the chockies there. The King Ding-a-ling crossing the line in 12th with Dax Daniel in the lonely Toyota out there. Good-looking Toyota at that. Delicious. I am hungry. Goodness me. Why so much food on the liveries, boys? Jacob Kelly there in 14th position, and Jojo Higgins, the casualty of this race. But that is Super 2 done and dusted here for round 7. Only one more round to go for these guys. That will be next week at Simmons Plains, or next fortnight, should I say. So if you thought the racing was tight here, ladies and gentlemen, Simmons Plains, one of the smallest tracks on the calendar. Not only small and thin, but it's that hairpin there Oh, wowee, that's going to sort out the men from the boys. So looking forward to that. But here's your winner, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Munro traversing the pit lane backwards. I get booted out of the server for doing that. That's Assetto Corsa does like to penalise you for having fun out there. But, just inside Steve Warwick's car as well. But that is all she wrote here, ladies and gentlemen, for the Super 2 Championship. We're going to be back, as I said, next fortnight to sort out who is going to take the crown here in Super 2. It's been good, but we're going to be back here in just a moment because the main grid is getting geared up. They're doing their final little bits of practice and setup work for their well, it's going to be a couple of hours worth of racing for the big dogs out there. So time for me to go and refresh, and we'll be back here on SimSational TV in just a few minutes. Once we figure out when the server's going live, we'll be beaming it straight into your eyeballs there in the in viewer land. So if you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on the video and on the channel if you haven't. And while you're doing that, we're going to get geared up for Tier 1 racing. So do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be back in just a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We'll get rid of those standings because we're going to go through the standings for the main grid, which are just still out there, just doing the last little bit of practice. So let's just get that up on your screens, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Cotter is the man in the commanding seat there. Not too far in behind him is Alex McEwen for Project 4. Nick Mello, his teammate as well, all occupying the top three there. Harley Marshall, who is currently indisposed, doing better things. Opening his mind out to bigger things than racing, but he's still tuning in, so happy to have him on board. Brandon Pierce up there in the top 5 with Andre Elliott, Jack Ferguson, Jesse Marshall, Dean Hanley, Scott Cordham round out your top 10 with Jason McFadden, Will Kirk, Scott Garrick, Dion Clerk there with the highest Toyota placed on the grid. Alan Nielsen, Lockie Grant, Ryan Nielsen, Hayden Cook, Andy Ferguson, who he is absolute shoo-in for Barbagallo. So he's been telling everyone during the week. Daniel Cicluna up there in 20th position as well. It's all happening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at the team standings as well, if we can get that up. We've got Project 4, as expected, with 2 of their drivers in the top 3 in the standings there. So they are right out in front. About 600 points clear of AK Racing Team, which is Cordham and Cotter. MBR, both indisposed tonight, so they're going to drop down the order as well. Rang out Sim Blacks 2 are doing better than the main team, so that's good to see. Square Dozen Racing sit behind them with DNK Motorsport. Monster Energy Racing, ranging out TFW Safe Driver Training in 8th position, ranging out Sim Blacks 1 team down there in 9th position, and Fovlo for AC Karting are there in 10th position. The boys are just lined up there, ready to go for qualifying. So we're going to be back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go and join them down on track. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Evening to you, BZ, in the chat. How many we got tuned in tonight? 27 concurrents at the moment. A few of those guys, well, you might get a few more from the Super 2 team turning up, but here we go. A full grid here tonight for the main event. And it's one of the Toyota Supras there at the front. Wonder who that is. Let's get in a little bit closer and just see who we're dealing with here. It's one of the, I think it's the AC Karting entry. It is Scotty Garrick. There he is. He's had his finger on the button, ladies and gentlemen. So he's ready to go. I think this qualifying session is 10 minutes long, so only 55 seconds to go. Oh, yeah. He's ready. Dumping the clutch there at the end of the pit lane. Yeah, just Just get back there, Scotty Garrick. I see what you're doing there, son. But there's an absolute traffic jam up here, as you can see. Look, cars trying to get in. It's gridlock here on the M1 on a Friday afternoon. Everyone wants to get out there, and rightly so. In these small little circuits, it's all about track position. It's only 10 minutes long, so you might only get nine laps clear. And I don't think the soft tyre is really cut out to do 9 qualifying laps consecutively. So we'll have to come back into the pit lane, put on a new set of boots to push a bit harder. And there we go. It is green light here in qualifying. Everyone slots in nicely. These guys are good at the merging. Here they go through. Alex McEwen there at the back as well. Here comes Hayden Cook and the Nielsen brothers at the end. Scotty Garrick is the man out in front. So we're going to go for a ride around Barbagallo Raceway. We're going to jump in the car with him. Get a bit of wheel work happening as well. As he comes down to the fishbowl. Down here at carco.com, a.k.a. Wanneroo, a.k.a. Barbagallo Raceway. Changing names more than bloody Prince does. But anyway, we're turning a final turn here. Let's go for a lap around Barbagallo with Scott Garrick as he gets the power down. And you probably only get up to maybe 3rd or 4th gear. By the time you get on the brakes there at the Perth sign, you want to dip it in. There's a couple of ways around this track as well. This turn, should I say. He dips it out to about half track distance and then just pedal to the metal over the top of the curbs. Now through into turn 4. Again, just out to about halfway out on the circuit. Dip it back in. Try to get on the nose and on the throttle. Big slide through the kink. That is going to hurt him. Almost hurt him terminally, but he's managed to keep the car straight and on the track. This isn't going to set any timing records on fire here, but down into the fishbowl he goes, running it right out to the sand, and that's a pretty good line. It's not going to be enough to make up for that massive mistake in Sector 2, but blink and you miss it, ladies and gentlemen, and that's a lap of Barbagallo. Through the final turn, you've got a massive big curbing on the outside. You're not allowed to go around that either. You have to keep all 4 wheels inside of that. No straddling allowed. Matt Cotter around the first time goes to the top, but is immediately clipped by the captain here, Captain Kirk, with a 56.4. You can see how tight it is. Matt Cotter with the 56.457, only 16 hundredths behind. Pretty close. The Magician's there as well in 3rd position, Brandon Pierce, but he's just eclipsed as well by Alex McEwen up there with a 56.4. There was a few guys earlier on in the practice session all dipping into the 55s. 55.9, I think 55.8 ended up being the quickest by Alex McEwen in that final practice session. So, who can get down there? Who's going to be the first person to dip into the 55s? It's going to be... Who's out there first? It's Scott Garrick, so he'll be the first one around for lap 2. Will it be an improvement for him? It does. He goes straight up into top 5. Brandon Pearson improves as well to a 56.6. Scott Cordham, however, goes and joins the lads in the 56.4s, but now the times come tumbling in. Nick Mello taking over that provisional pole, sitting spot there with a 56.1. That's 0.3 better than the other blokes here at the moment. And there is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers all within a tenth of each other there from 2nd all the way down to 6th. I said it was going to be tight in the pre-game show, ladies and gentlemen, and that is absolutely happening for us out there tonight. Nathan Hughes joining the party up there in 7th position. Ryan Nielsen as well dipping into the top 10. It's going to be cutthroat. It's going to be cutthroat here in qualifying. Imagine what it's going to start. Imagine what's going to happen once the green light comes out here for race 1. Only, 37 laps or something like that. So a similar kind of race race distance that we saw in the Super 2 category. Scotty Cordham improves his time, and Will Kirk's the first one to dip into the 55s. He's out here for Sim Blacks, and he is absolutely flying today, ladies and gentlemen. He's done his practice. We've seen him have a bit of a topsy-turvy season as well. certainly capable of winning a race, and maybe today is the day there for Mr. Kirk. Mello's dipping into the pit lane to come out for his final push, couple of laps. Scotty caught him down here in third position. Be good to see him with a W next to his name by the end of the season. He's one of the OG members here of AK Racing, representing Team AK Racing as well with the new livery. Suits his personality, don't you think? Whoa, absolutely beautiful. Anyway, he's rounding the final turn now to maybe do better on his. He's gone purple in the first. Matt Cotter's gone to the top of the timing tower, only just with a 55.8. Man, it's close as well. Look at that. It's what? A second covering the top 18. That's wild. Top 18 all covered by less than a second here at the moment. Wowee. Let's go and see down here who we got. Dion Clerk in the Toyota. Looks a little bit less wide, a little bit thinner than the other cars in the structural department. So that'll be good. Nice and nimble there around this kind of circuit. That's what you want. There's a few different ways, as we said, to skin the cat around here. Alex McEwen just up into 6th position. You expect him to be right up there, and he's probably starting to feel the burn here, but one of the more cool, calm and collected drivers on the grid, so he won't be worried at all. He's pretty quick in pace in the race as well, so he won't be too worried. But it's one of those circuits where qualifying is, well, it's kind of paramount. If you can get out there, as we saw in the Super 2 race, Matt Munro qualifying at the front, got into the lead and into turn 1 and never looked back, really. It is a tough time out there to overtake as well, so you can get stuck behind certain drivers that might not be up to your pace, and that can really hurt you in your overall race time. Lockie Grant joined back into the server down there in 23rd position. Matt Cotter still sitting up the front. There goes McEwen just joining Scott Cordham off the second row provisionally. We're starting to get down to business here, ladies and gentlemen. 3 minutes to go, and here's the man who's been touting it all week, how much he loves Barbagallo, and fair enough, he's got the W there over at VRL that time, and I was tuned in to the broadcast too, and it was one of the more entertaining things to ever see out there in sim racing land. So we wish Andrew Ferguson all the best here. He's got a purple microsector there, so he might be on for a bit of an improvement. We're going to see. We actually bring up the little delta that I have here somewhere. Delta bar. There it is. No, we do not have the delta. Oh well, it's okay. Ferguson down there in 12th position. But look how tight it is up the top. McEwen there, 10th, less than a 10th. To Scott Cordham. Ryan Nielsen up there as well. He's been just kicking goals recently. He started off his campaign in Super 2, and now look at him. He's near the front of the main grid, so that's a real rags to riches story. And, look at this. Commentator of the year, Dean Hanley, as you might have seen on the channel on Wednesday night. Joining me in the commentary box was Mr. Dino. Look at him now. He's up there in the top 5 here. 2 minutes to go. Business time. It's time to get in. He's just doing, I think it's a bit of a warm-up lap. Just getting those tyres in the right temperature so he can have one final push. Currently, it's Matt Cotter crossing the line. No improvement there, but he doesn't need to because he is clear of Will Kirk, who's on a flying lap here. We're going to see what he's going to put down once he gets across the line. He's still pushing hard, ladies and gentlemen. Is it going to be an improvement? It's not, but he's still got maybe 2 laps to go for him if he can keep it in the clear air. We'll see where Nick Mello is, just rounding the first couple of turns up into turn 4. He's going to be probably impeded there by Bill Kosmarikis. Oh, yep, he's going to have to get out of that and maybe just consolidate himself. Oh, very close to contact there. Bill, you do not need to yield for faster drivers coming through if you are indeed on a hot lap yourself. So that's some of the rules here down at AK Racing. Everyone's entitled to have a dip at the cherry. Scotty Cordham doesn't improve around there. He's on a 56.0. Mind you, it's only what, 2 tenths. 2 tenths shy of the lead, and he's down there in 5th position. Dean Hanley has had enough, so he will not improve. Ryan Nielsen's had enough, he will not improve. Jason McFadden down here in 8th position with the 56.2 on the clock. Does not improve that time around either. So, whoa, who out there is on a hot lap? Let's have a look, actually. We just go to the old timing tower here. See if anyone's looking purple. No one really. Nick Mello actually started with the green sector, so we're going to go and check out how he's going. He's on for a personal best. He doesn't have to improve that much, really, to slot himself up there onto the front row. Only a 1/10 and a half required for him. Might get a little bit of a suck there from Will Kirk, who is going to have to pull it into the pits because he will not make it around. The checkered flag is out. Anyone to pass the line now is not going to get around for another lap. So this is it here for Nick Mello, getting the pedal to the metal. It might be a green lap here for Nick Mello. Goes across the line as a slight improvement. No, it wasn't. It was 56.1. No improvement there. So Matt Cotter off the pole position. Alex McEwen pulling it into the pits. He can't improve. Neither can Will Kirk. As we saw Nick Mello finish his lap off, how's Scotty Cordham looking here as well? He is up. He's up by 4/10. Holy moly. No, he's just given it all back through that little bit. He's just teetering on the edge of an improvement here as Scott Cordham. So all he's got to do is just really get it together around this final turn. He's got a Camaro looking sideways around there. Needs to get the pedal down. He might be on for improvement here. Scott Cordham crosses the line for an improvement. No, it is. Yeah, 55.9. Goes up to 3rd position. Still off the 2nd row, though, but that's a great end to the qualifying session there. Braden Moore joining him on the circuit there. It's his first time out in the main grid. I don't have his livery. That's interesting. I've downloaded all the things required. Perhaps it's not been entered. Who knows? Who knows? If someone's out there watching, tell Brando to send it to me. Or Braden, should I say. Sorry, mate. Here's your pole sitter, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Cotter, who was fastest during the week. He is the championship leader as well. Going to be tough to stop today, you'd think. Once he can get himself out in front, if he can, going to be hard to run down. But it is a 2-stop strategy here for all these guys. Maybe a 3 or a 4, depending on what you want to do. Maybe 3 dips in with the soft tyre. Ooh. Here he is. Beautiful livery there. A lot going on. The black and yellow. The look at that. The bit of smoke coming from the brakes as well. Maybe a little addition to the mod. I know it's always being updated there at AK Racing as well. So hats off to all the guys out there in the mod department, keeping this thing fresh, always updating it, always making it look good. And by now it's it's got lengths on the other Gen 3 mods that are out there. This is certainly number 1, but the man on the screen is number 1 here for the starting grid here coming up in just a few moments. It's going to be 37 laps around this beautiful circuit out here at Wanneroo, carco.com, Barbagallo, whatever you want to bloody call it. I'll be here to call all the action. My name is Chris Munro. In the commentary box tonight, we might be being joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Lindsay Muddle at some point during the night. So hopefully. I didn't want to say it on stream, Fabian, but you've got it there. Let's have a little break before we come back for race 1 here in the Tier 1 section. So go and grab your drinks, refill them. Get some donuts out of the oven. Do whatever you want to do. Call your Uber Eats. It's ready to go. Let's get down to business here in race 1 for the main grid here. AK Racing's Gen 3 Supercars. We'll be back in just a moment. Back on circuit, ladies and gentlemen. 2 minutes 27 to go. And this is shaping up to be the battle of the ages. Out there in front, Matt Cotter off the pole position with Alex McEwen on his inside. So maybe a little bit of, tactical stuff. You probably want to be on the inside, to be honest. Scott Cordham out there as well in 3rd position with Will Kirk. That's one of his highest qualifying totals here in this season. We've got Nick Mello and Dean Hanley back there in 5th and 6th position. Ryan Nielsen, Andrew Ferguson as well up there off the 4th row with McFadden and Hughes off the 5th. We got Pierce and Grant, Garrick and Nielsen, Jack Ferguson and Elliott down there off the 8th row with Clerk Asplin. Benny Asplin joining the serve. We haven't seen him for a few rounds. With Ezra Simons, Hayden Cook as well, Hayden Wallace, Braden Moore and Bill Kosmarikis round out your top 23 out there tonight. Get your predictions in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Who is going to take out race 1 or who is going to take out each other? That could be one. Yeah, Kirsty's in the chat saying, go Dean. I agree. He's up there and he's got a great opportunity here to make some ground up. And it's going to be just down to who can keep their wits about them as well, because I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of cars out there on track, going to be a lot of busyness. Sean North in the chat says, what happened to your partner in crime, Zach O'Reilly, tonight? He's on holidays. He's been given leave there, from some paid leave from SimSational TV. So he's off in the land of Thailand. But he's on his way back. He'll be back for the next broadcast. Never fear. But I will get some help later on. I think Lindsay Muddle will be joining the commentary box as well. So, carnage incoming. T1 says Fabian in the chat. Possibly. I think these guys know each other all by now. They've been racing for 7 rounds on the trot, so they're all very familiar with how each other gets their business, goes about their business out there on track. But as we said, it's very tight up there in the championship standings between Matt Cotter and Alex McEwen, and they're the front two off the grid. So that is, I'm looking forward to seeing who can get the upper hand in that. It's about time we kick off this round, and they are racing now for race 1 here in the main grid. And Alex McEwen's got the jump on him. He will lead down into turn 1. Matt Cotter has to slot in behind. Gets a little tap there from Will Kirk as well. There goes Scott Cortum around the outside as well, but up the inside looking is Nick Mello. He's on the outside now and gets that job done on Dean Hanley, but that's a great start from Hanley nonetheless. Ryan Nielsen up there as well in the top 7 with Ferguson chasing, and as you can see, that beautiful field coming around. Alex McEwen leads. Matt Cotter there, under pressure there from Will Kirk just momentarily, but gets the job done through that little kink, and he is on fire tonight. All of these guys looking up the order. Down here, it's Hughes and McFadden fighting it out. Hughes on the inside, and McFadden trying to send it around Trailer Park Girl style around the outside. It's not going to happen for him this time because Brandon Pierce, the magician, let's ride on board with him. He's got a good look at this field down here in 11th position. 10 of those guys in front of him, in fact. But Lockie Grant just behind him as well. And Pearso going defensive early on. That's maybe a sign of weakness there in the Brandon Pierce camp. But he's doing well and regardless. But here goes Lockie Grant now, having a little dip up the inside. He's going to get that job done. Pearso giving him a wide berth, maybe not as confident as we've seen in previous rounds. Brandon Pierce, but does have the pace to hold Lockie Grant at bay here. Whoa, just pushes him right out to the edge of the track. That is some close racing, let's just say that. Scotty Garrick, let's ride on board with him because he's got Lockie Grant in his sights. Only a couple of tenths the difference. It's who can get the best traction down, really. That's all it comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. But down here into the fishbowl for the second time, and look at this. Look at that beautiful line through that turn 6 there by Scott Garrick. Just doesn't have the legs on the Toyota up the hill. The Lockie Grant machine there in front of him, just holding him at bay. Scott Garrick showing the nose as well. That's interesting stuff. He's all over him, and he fancies himself here. He's got the good run. He's opted to go to the left. He should have gone to the right. He jinked when he jagged, but he's going to slide up the inside anyway, or at least have a look. There's a little bit of contact there as well. Bump and run. Oh, the stewards are going to be all over him for that, and he does. Gets out of the throttle, but he's left himself vulnerable as well because Andre Elliott's just slide up the inside as well. So is Jack Ferguson. So an inopportune moment just turned worse there for Scott Garrick, and he loses out of position, maybe 2, but Jack Ferguson just getting muscled out of it there around turn 4. That's unfortunate for him, but looking up the order here, Ryan Nielsen is on the back of Dean Hanley currently. As you see them coming around, it's only 2 laps in. The action is aplenty. Right up the front, though, Matt Cotter is under the rear wing of Alex McEwen now. This is the battle for the championship. Let's ride on board with Matty Cotter and see if he can just turn the screws and maybe. I was going to say maybe just get under the skin of Alex McEwen, but that's almost impossible. He is the Iceman out there for sure. He is he's one of the coolest and calmest drivers out there. He knows the deal. All he's got to do is just park that thing, maybe even back Matt Cotter up into Will Kirk and Nick Mello, his teammate, back there in 3rd and 4th position. Whoa, big slide there from Matt Cotter. We wouldn't be on board with Matt Cotter if it wasn't for the big oversteer moment. You know who you're on board with. You can take the naming tag off the bottom there. You'd know exactly who was driving. The way this guy likes to set the arse out on these things. Down here, though, Scotty Garrick and Andre Elliott now just trading blows, and Garrick just getting the better of him down there in 13th position as well. So we saw those two guys swap positions earlier on when there was a little bit of an indiscrepancy between him and Lockie Grant. So that might just culminate in some more battling between those two guys, and currently it's a little 3-4-way car battle down here. Keeping one eye on the battle for the lead up here as well, because this is where the action is. It's for the race lead, ladies and gentlemen, for the championship lead. Whoever wins this race will probably, will be in front coming into the next time out here in race 2. So it's all very tight, and these guys know what's at stake. Trophy coming their way at the end of this championship as well. OK Racing now moving into physical trophies. I've got one for Fabian Fitness as well that I need to... Actually, if you're listening, Fabian, just message me your address. I was gonna DM you earlier, but I never got around to it. Lockie Grant's had a gutser down here. He's fallen off the track and down into 21st position. Oh, that's disaster there for the Mobil 1 entry. Alex McEwen goes fastest in the meantime with a 56.1. So he's out there and he's actually just stretched the legs over Matt Cotter, half a second the difference. Down here for 9th and 10th position, McFadden and Nathan Hughes battling it out hard here. Oh, McFadden just going wide there. That's opened the door for Nathan Hughes to get up alongside. They're wheel to wheel now, just crossing over. Oh, there's a massive crash here. There goes Jason McFadden, turned around. He's facing the wrong way. Nathan Hughes, guilty. That is a murder on screen, ladies and gentlemen, in 2K definition as well. Jason McFadden struggling to get that Camaro back out on the circuit. Poor bastard. He is just digging up holes there in the grass. Look at him go, and that is a disaster for both of their races, really. Just pushing it to the limit. Found the limit of talent as well. But down here, Andrew Ferguson on the move. He's got Ryan Nielsen in his sights, pulls alongside, and this is going to be a textbook overtake down here into turn 1. No worries yet. Maybe just a little bit of door banging, a little bit of paint swapping. That's what you want, ladies and gentlemen. He goes through. Andrew Ferguson on the move. He loves this track. Don't you worry about it. He will tell you. It's like when you meet a vegan for the first time. You get put the stopwatch on, and he'll you got to guess how many seconds it takes before he tells you about how good he is around Barbagallo. Down here, Ryan Nielsen, Alan Nielsen. He's up behind Ezra Simons in the Camaro. I'm missing a couple of liveries. What is going on? We've got to put a stop to all this livery update rubbish. It should be one submission at the start, and that's what you do. You stay there. Because it just there's too many livery changes. I always miss out. But here goes Alan Nielsen looking up the inside here. Simons gives him plenty of room. And he slides up the inside, ready to go. Here he goes. Banachek in the chat there. I'm going to get to your comment in just a moment because the action is all heating up. Dion Clerk just taking advantage there of a slow-moving Hayden Wallace and just dipping up the inside like you wouldn't believe. It's Hayden Wallace's first time out here in the main grid as well. He was one of the promotees up there from Super 2. So this is his first time out in the Big Boys League. And just feeling his way out here for the time being. Dean Hanley, let's ride on board with him because he's got Scotty Cordham there, the OG of AK Racing in his sights. Only, what, a tenth and a half the difference here coming into the final turn. Scott Cordham going half defensive. That might hurt him. He's at least his momentum here on the exit of the final turn. And now look at this. Dean Hanley has got a fistful of that steering wheel, and he is ready to go. Scott Cordham just drifting out across the circuit there, parking it on the apex. I love that sort of stuff because it just blocks the opportunity for a switchback. That's one of the techniques that is really undercooked and underrated, I find, in sim racing or racing in general. Really just overslow the car, so there's just no opportunity for those guys to just maybe look for that little up and under. But regardless, it's worked out well there for Scott Cordham. But how long? He's got Dean Hanley behind him, and Dean Hanley got plenty of pace here at the moment. 9 laps in, they're all on the soft tyre, bar Lachlan Grant and Bill Kosmarikis. I think they look like the only two that have started on the hard tyre. So, Hanley is getting a little bit too acquainted with that exit curve there of the final turn. But Rick Banachek in the chat says, I've been on YouTube for years and never knew how to add to the chat. Old fart learns new things. Come on, Dino Hanley and Big Dog Nelson. Well, there you go. You learn something every day, and today's your day to learn a little bit about YouTube. But there you go. You've been added to the chat, and forever you can now comment your thoughts. And I encourage you all at home watching to tune in and put your thoughts into the chat. Give me something to do. It's hard until Lindsay turns up. What's this? I'm just catching up on the chat. Being the solo racer or the solo competitor here at the moment, it's hard to keep my eyes on 1 or 2 or 4 things going on at once. But we're going to have to get back to that because the battle is heated up here well and truly at the start or at the front of the field. Let's look at the back of Alex McEwen's car. That's the way to do it. We can see how angry that Camaro looks in the rearview mirror. Just a bee's dick between these two guys. 11 laps in, 26 to go. Nowhere near halfway distance. And I think these two guys are going to be locked in a titanic battle for the rest of this round. Very evenly matched on pace. And I'll tell you what, you cannot really expect a mistake out of either of them. So they're going to have to force the overtake to happen if they want that to be the case. So I think you might find a little bit of patient driving from both of these guys for the time being. But look at just in the background there, Will Kirk has managed to catch up. He's only a second off Matt Cotter now as well, but certainly in the picture visually, you can see him there with the another black and yellow car tuning in. This could be a 3-way car battle heading into the second half of this race. You can see the last time around, Alex McEwen set a 56.6. I'm pretty sure Cotter did a 56.6 as well. So both of those guys on pace. We'll check out Dean Hanley because he's very much close to Scott Cordham now as they come down into the fishbowl. Whoa, little bit wobbly there for Cordham on the brakes as well. So maybe the tyres just starting to fall apart, as we saw in the Super 2 race. We saw guys pitting from lap 9 up until about lap 15. So I think you might see something similar happening here. But here goes Hanley, looking around the outside, but forced Cordham to go defensive there as well. This is a cracking battle here. Let's ride on board with Hanley because he is all over Scott Cordham here at the moment, and Nick Mello there in the picture as well, just in the foreground or background, should I say, just getting all sorts of sideways through turn 4. So his Camaro is not looking the best in the body language department, as you can see. Look at him just deep down there into the fishbowl. I think that might be his preferred line, ladies and gentlemen. Head out wide and sweep around for a late apex, getting the most momentum you can up the hill. But look at this. Speaking of the momentum, here's Hanley. He's got the suck as well. Scott Cordham follows him across. Oh, geez, that's a late move. That might be one for the... I'll tell you what, Hanley be all over the comms to the race directors there saying, hey, that can't be on. Can't be doing that, but we've only got one angle to work with here, ladies and gentlemen, so we won't be pointing too many fingers. But I'll tell you what, I don't think Dean Hanley will be too happy with that. We'll keep an eye on this, because I'll tell you what, the frustrations are starting to probably show there in the Hanley department. Fabian Fitness in the chat, keeping us all entertained. Now you can put some cash in the chat, he says, Bananarama. You can only learn one new trick a day for an old dog, so you might have to teach him. There's a little, for everyone listening at home there's a little dollar sign down at the bottom of your screen there of the chat, so you can feel free to donate us some money. We do it for the love of the motorsport, but also a little bit of a, a little bit of an end-of-year piss-up for the boys here at SimSational TV is always appreciated. Down here, Andrew Ferguson making his way past Nielsen again. I feel like he's already made that overtake once tonight, so he might have been returned serve on there somewhere along the line. But Ferguson now looking towards the outside. The two Mustangs caught in a tight battle, both of them sideways, tandem. Tokyo drifting at the same time. As you can see, Handley caught him as well. But up the top here, look at that. Will Kirk has actually got past Matt Cotter as well. This battle's all happening up and down the field. It's hard to keep your eye on which one. But I tell you what, Matt Cotter must have made a mistake somewhere along the line, and he has absolutely just been pantsed by Will Kirk. He's got right on him, and now these two guys are swapping positions as well. Dean Handley, look at that, the late apex. I don't think there's going to be much that Scott Cordham can do about it now because he's up alongside. He has the overlap. Scott Cordham pushes him, tries to squeeze him to the edge of the track, but Handley, all he has to do now is spot the braking marker, get it turned in, look to park it on the apex. That's a great little overtaking maneuver there. Parked it on the apex. As you can see, Scott Cordham just lining him up for a switchback. But it wasn't enough because Handley had parked his car there. Now he's just gone and undone all his good work, going well deep into turn one, manages to get it bloody straightened up and the traction on, and he has finally consolidated that overtake. That has been about 10 laps in the making there from those guys, but Dean Handley on track for one of his best results of the season so far, and you can see the frustrations starting to creep their way into the AK Racing Camaro number 45 of Scott Cordham, dipping the rear wheels off the circuit there as well. But it's all happening here, ladies and gentlemen. Even down the back we've got Hughes and Lockie Grant all getting acquainted with each other there as well. BZ, chuck us a tenner, you absolute legend. Thank you very much. He says, love your work, SimSational TV. We do our best out here to bring you guys the best of the best racing coverage as well. Commentaries, hit or miss. But we do have the help with a bit of red cordial, so that a lot of that money goes straight back into the Australian economy. Certainly a lot of tax gets taken into account there as well, but that's one. It's one for the ages. Look at this, Handley now on a roll. He's lined up Nick Mello, and he's absolutely dove from way back down there into turn 6, and he goes bang up into 4th position. Handley on the move tonight. Wowee! Somebody stop him. He's on the soft tyre, and he's absolutely making them work a treat. He's where's Cordham in relation? Look, all the way down there, about 2-3 seconds behind. So here goes Matt Cotter. He's decided he's had enough. He's the first one to blink on this set of soft tyres. 18 laps in, mind you. Gee whiz, that's a lot. But I tell you what, he's jumped in now to come back out with probably another set of softs on. Because I don't think there was a mandatory compound change required. Maybe there was, because there's a couple of guys out there on hards. So, possibly a mandatory compound change. I should double check that. I can do that. Right now, as I talk, get the next round up, ladies and gentlemen. Tier 1, no mandatory compound change in race 1. So, interesting decision for some of these guys to come out on the hard tyre. Lockie Grant probably thinking, why didn't he just start on the softs? But anyway, Matt Cotter's come out on a set of soft tyres, and why wouldn't you not? Because that's about halfway through, 18 laps. That'll get you there. That'll get you to the end. He's coming in for as BZ said, he's coming in early to try and get the undercut. But you're going to have to be getting up a bit earlier in the day to outsmart old Alex McEwen, because he comes in on the next lap to cover him off. And you'll see this now when Alex McEwen gets back out on the circuit. He will still be in front of Matt Cotter, and maybe even a little bit further, because Cotter, I don't think, had the best of out laps or in laps. As you can see, look at that. He's got Nielsen and Will Kirk between him. That's a great stop there from McEwen, perfectly timed. And he is now in the effective lead of the race. On the track, though, on the road, Dean Hanley has got himself to the front. He's loving that. But Fabian says Alex into traffic. I don't think so. He's got, what, 2 cars in front of him. That's Ferguson and Garrick, and they're probably not far off a pit stop as well for either of those guys. A 2.7 second gap. They're battling hard as well, mind you. Here goes Scotty Garrick looking defensive up there into the final turn. Jack Ferguson maybe just trying to send it around the outside. There goes Garrick into the pit. So Alex McEwen only having to deal with Jack Ferguson here at the moment as the top 3 on the circuit all come into the pits as well. Mate, I'm telling you, this guy, he absolutely knows his way around a race, and the strategy and how he thinks about it is absolutely amazing. But down here, the battle for, I guess, effective second and third on the track is starting to heat up. Will Kirk took advantage of Matt Cotter just a few laps ago to take that position off him. And the longer that Cotter is stuck here battling, oh, I tell you what, Kirk's not going to make it easy. Jesus, that is so close there. Kirk's missed his braking marker, and he might even just fall off the track here. He just goes very, very deep, but lends himself the inside, and there goes Matt Cotter. Chuffles off up the street. 2.5 second now advantage to Alex McEwen out there in front. Matt Cotter slotting back into second place after his little cameo down there in in third. But that was a great little battle between those guys. Oof, very spicy indeed. Steve Warwick with the goods with the $10 super chat. Really enjoying the stuff you guys deliver, he says. Absolutely. Thank you, mate. And look, we are committed here at SimSational to bringing the best coverage possible out here in the sim racing world. There's a fair few broadcasters out there, but I reckon none of them do it as good as we do. Maybe a little bit biased, but I'll let you guys be the judge. Here is Andrew Ferguson. He's Barbagallo's favourite son out there at the moment. He's got Lockie Grant in front of him. Grant's on an old set of hards, so he's probably just struggling with a bit of grip. As you can see, here goes Ferguson up the inside, easy as you like, and will get the traction to boot. So he goes up there into 7th position. Will Kirk and Matt Cotter, though, these guys have been locked in to a tight battle this whole time. I'm stealing that one, BZ. Don't you worry about that. He says there's more weaving going on than a basket convention. Woo! I'm going to write that down on a post-it note, stick it to my thing. Lindsay will be happening. Well, I assume he'll be coming on soon. He had to work, so he'll be home, I think, any minute now. He said around 6:30, so we will, your earbuds will get some sort of variation to them soon enough, your eardrums. So we'll let him speak for a bit when he turns up. Shouldn't be too much longer. But let's go down here because there's a bit of a kerfuffle happening here. Lockie Grant is got Simon's there right up beside him. Let's get the top view here, and Lockie Grant absolutely just struggling for pace. He just sidesteps both of those guys in Simons and Hughes, both of them in the white livery as well, mind you. So mighty confusing for me. Here goes Hughesy, just getting all sorts of squirrely down there into turn 6, but manages to stay on the back of Ezra Simons. It's game on here, and it's battle on here between these two guys. It's Ford v Camaro. Nathan showing the nose. That's what you want to see. A bit of aggression too, ladies and gentlemen, just to show him he's there. Simon's going very deep now. That'll invite Hughes up the inside, down there into turn 1. This should be just a regulation overtake now. He gets the job done, gets on the anchors, finds his apex, and that is 16th position there for Nathan Hughes. All the Hughes fans in the chat going wild because, well, absolutely not, because he's capable of being up there in the top 5. We've seen it all season long, just a little bit of inconsistencies creeping into the driving of Nathan Hughes. Certainly capable. Maybe just doesn't get the practice time that he deserves or needs. Lindsay's here. Are you in the... hang on a moment. He is. Why are you... you must be muted here in the chat. Let me just have a look. You're not muted. Speak into TeamSpeak, Lindsay, or forever hold your peace. can't hear you, sir. Mike isn't liking TeamSpeak. Okay. Jump into the... we'll just use broadcast. We'll just use Discord. Excuse me, folks. Here we go. Just unmute yourself in Discord there, and we should be ready to go. Lindsay Muddle. Are you there, my friend?
I am here.
Ah, here he is. All right. We are blessed now to join the commentary box here in Lindsay Muddle. He's been here since lap 17, so he's had a bit of an idea of how this race has currently panned out. Hope you're liking what you're seeing, friend.
Well, if I'm honest, I've been more trying to fix the TeamSpeak problem, so I haven't quite been looking. But from the looks of it, the person in P1 seems about standard, so things never change.
Yeah, well, he didn't start pole either this time. He was second on the grid. Matt Cotter, the man in this locked in this tight battle here at the moment, was the man on pole position, but Alex just getting the jump off the start, and in that second phase of grip, just managed to lead Matt Cotter down into turn 1, and since then it's been all the running of Alex McEwen. Matt Cotter making a bit of an error there just before the first round of pit stops as well, and that allowed Will Kirk through. And since then they've just been battling on and off, so it's been pretty exciting up the front here.
Yeah, it seems like it. The gaps are very, very small. Obviously, we're looking at the captain right now as he chases behind Matt Cotter, and obviously it looks like they're about to go to battle, and here we go. He has the run up the inside, does the captain, but he's just trying to bump his way through, can't quite get alongside, but now they have the straight and they have the run, so will we see the first overtaking of the race since I've been here? And yes, we will, up the inside, but oh, there's going to be a switchback there. Cotter doesn't give up easy, and here he goes, and he's through once again. So Will Kirk just going a little bit deep, and then now as they barrel through this double apex right-hander, it's wide, and it's very wide from Matt Cotter. Kirk sees an opportunity to slot up the inside. There's a little bit of wheel rubbing. He has to go half over the grass as Matt Cotter, but Will Kirk has now slotted into position.
That's amazing stuff there. That was back and forth like a ping pong table match. I tell you what, that is great to see. These two guys battling it out hard. We haven't seen Will Kirk up this pointy end of the order for quite some time, so it's great to see someone out there able to throw the gauntlet to the championship leader so far as Matt Cotter. So these two guys have not dropped each other, and it's back to how they were a couple of laps ago. Is Matt Cotter going to try and line up an overtake here? He looks at it. He sort of shows the nose just briefly, but decides it's probably best just to maybe just stick under the rear wing of Will Kirk and maybe have a dip somewhere else. Will Kirk going half defensive down into turn 1. A little bit of a wobble there as well. Almost contact. Matt Cotter looking for the switchback, but the captain was aware of it and just places his car perfectly as they head up through turn 4 again. This is fantastic stuff, ladies and gentlemen. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Zach O'Reilly in the chat as well, watching from a land afar. So welcome to you, my son. But now that was a big mistake there from Kirk. If we can get a top view, tell you what, the camera angles on this circuit, Lindsay, are getting a little bit annoying sometimes. But we do what we're dealt with here, and it looks like Matt Cotter's got the best run out of the final turn. We might be in for another overtake here.
Yeah, it looks like it as Cotter goes to the outside. Will Kirk on the inside, just defending the position, but we've seen the switchback here already with these two battling away as now they make their run towards turn 1, and that's very wide from Will Kirk, and Matt Cotter says thank you very much, and I am going to slot through into P2, but it looks like they have some other cars closing up behind to join the field as well of Mello and Hanley, so it looks like we could have a four-way fight on our hands in a moment.
Oh, absolutely, Will. I mean, that's already starting to happen now. These two guys just hurting each other with all the battling that's been had over the last, 29 laps, pretty much. These guys have been absolutely inseparable for the most part, and you don't need too much of an invitation when Nick Mello is concerned. So he's just eking out the gaps 10th by 10th here at the moment, but he's also got his hands full with Dean Hanley, who's on fire tonight, mind you. We've seen him pretty much put the sword to Scott Cordham earlier and Nick Mello earlier on, so through that round of pit stops he's lost a position out of that. So he's going to have to try and make the overtake happen on the road once more. But he might be wise just to maybe lay off Mello for the time being and let them all just sort of catch up to that battling pair up the front there of Cotter and Kirk, and maybe just chance your arm and see what happens if you can maybe take advantage of some sort of opportunity that falls your way. But I'll tell you what, these guys up the front, there's not going to be many mistakes that sort of happen in front of you. You really have to work for every overtake when it comes to you. So I guess we're just in for entertainment here. Here goes, speaking of which, here goes Hanley, a little bit of smoke as well, but opportunistic in the finest form. It goes up beside Nick Mello, a little bit of contact, but that's all fair in love and war. They go side by side up the final straight of this circuit. 7 laps to go, mind you. Dean Hanley has the overlap here. He's just got to look for his braking marker, get that car angled in, maybe just close off the apex to stop the switchback, but I can't speak fast enough because it's already happened. Mick Mello has got the overlap here now into turn 1, and Lindsay Muddle, it's all happening.
Yeah, and you can't seem to find your words either, as Hanley is now still trying on the outside, but Mello has the inside line as they head through, but now it switches back to the inside line for Hanley, and he has the run, he has the exit, but Mello's not a driver to give up easily as he's still trying to show the nose, but not quite. As they head towards turn 6 now, they're going to be slipstreaming each other all the way through, and as well as in the background as well, Cordham has caught up to this little fight. So we have a 3-way fight here, then they have 7/10 up the road to Matt Cotter and Will Kirk, who are battling as well. So looks like these drivers are not having any sort of breathing room as we head into the final 6 laps of race 1.
Yeah, they're certainly not. And whoa, big sideways moment there from Will Kirk. He in all this battling down the back there with Hanley and Mello, we saw Cotter just get around Kirk, and maybe now just might have consolidated that little gap. I mean, half a second, that's as far as they've been out this whole last 10 laps or so. But you can see the body language of that car is just starting to look a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit taily on exit as well for Will Kirk. And I tell you what, this could be the perfect opportunity for Dean Hanley to surprise him down here into turn 6. He's close enough to maybe chuck the dice down on the table and have a look up the inside. Oh, a little bit of rubber banding there in the service stakes. And Matt Cotter just ended up being inside of Will Kirk's car. And Dean Hanley just taking a leaf out of Shane Van Gisbergen's book of just impeding them on the exit, because now he's got the overlap here. He's looking for a spot in the top 3. This is going to be fantastic stuff. Dean Hanley, commentator of the year, goes up beside Will Kirk, gives him probably too much room, and cops a little whack on the exit for his troubles. And here comes Nick Mello now to make this a little 3-way battle, but Dean Hanley still has the right of way up the inside. Mello's going to try and follow him through, and I'll tell you what, Matt Cotter's loving this because now he's got some breathing room. But Dean Hanley now finally consolidates that overtake and goes up to 3rd place. Great stuff, Lindsay.
Yeah, and here comes Mello as well. He wants a piece of Will Kirk now as well as they head through this very, very short lap. And he's trying to attack, and there he goes down the inside very aggressively there from Mello. And then now here comes Cordham as well on the inside.
Yeah.
So the captain dropping places faster than he can even blink. And now he's still side by side with Cordham, who gets the place. And now Kirk's gone from the front of this battle all the way to the back of it at the end of the top 6. And is that pretty much it for him? Will he be gapped now? I doubt it. He's not a driver to give up so easily, as Scott now trying his best to get a good exit. And he has the run off the final corner as they make their way towards turn 1. And he's still trying to hunt Nick Mello, who's still trying to find his way up, as I imagine they're just getting past a blue flag Mustang there. And yes, they have, and that is Cosmarica's, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yep. Billy down there in 23rd position, just sidestepping these guys, and you don't want to be that guy to sort of mess up the flow of the top 3. And look at this, Hanley is just on an absolute charge at the moment. He's made his way up behind Matt Cotter now, so possibly a P2 on the cards here for Hanley. He's got the pace at the perfect time of this race. 3 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, and Matt Cotter's right there. They were like almost an overlap there. Matt Cotter forced into going defensive, and Hanley's going to just try and sling it around the outside, maybe look for a late apex here. He does, and certainly has the momentum. And look at this, they are going to have the overlap side by side now down into turn 1. Matt Cotter squeezes him right out to the edge, and why not? That's a good racecraft and awareness there from Matt Cotter. And Dean Hanley gets the late apex now. More momentum. Cotter a little bit squirrely as well on the exit. So maybe the rear grip just starting to leave that Matt Cotter vehicle as well at the moment. Let's ride on board with Hanley because the pressure is on. This guy is driver of the day so far from me. He's made more overtakes than I've seen in the entire season just tonight, so he is rip-roaring and ready to go. As BZ said, there's more weaving than a basket convention out here at the moment. Matt Cotter just cannot get the traction down, and that's let Dean Hanley up the inside. This could be it, ladies and gentlemen. 2 laps to go, and Hanley is in the hot seat to take P2 away from Matt Cotter. He dives down into T1. The final turn, should I say, needs to maybe slow it up a little bit to prevent that switchback. Now, go defensive, Dean. Get to the right, son. You know, he's left the door open, and geez, that's lucky. But now he's just gone deep and given that back to Matt Cotter. He will have the advantage for the inside of the next turn, Lindsay.
Yep, and that is a good move from Hanley, but it nearly cost him with that lockup going into turn 1, and that is allowing Mello to catch up as well. You can see Zach O'Reilly in the chat saying to stop battling, but Hanley now has the place, and I think there's a lot more tyre on his Camaro versus Cotter's, so he's definitely been one to just save his tyres, or did he pit later? I'm honestly not sure, because I wasn't here, but he definitely has a little bit more grip under his car than it seems the others around him. But now Mello sees like it looks like he has an opportunity here to try and get past Matt Cotter. That gap under 0.2 of a second, and he's in the slipstream as he makes his way towards turn number 7, the final corner of the circuit, and he's going to try go outside, forces Cotter to defend, and that is a beautiful switchback maneuver. There's contact on the exit though. Mello hasn't gotten it done quite yet, but here we go, a drag race towards turn 1. He should have it secured on the inside line, but Cotter still trying the outside, tries the switchback now, doesn't quite have the grip, and Nick Mello getting that move done, and now Cotter also falls off the podium places here in race 1, and it's the final lap of the race, and it looks like Courtney in the background as well. Looks like he also has an opportunity to try get past Matt Cotter, and he's going to try it as he has a good little dance there through the middle sector, but loses time to Matt Cotter, just sliding a little bit there by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's all come down to strategy, viewers, as well, because Cotter was the first man to pit out there on the soft, so he's got the oldest set, as you can see, just struggling to put the power down. But now he's got up the inside of Mello now for the second time in this race. McEwen crossing the line there for the win in race 1, but we can't take our eyes off because this is going to be a dead set drag race for third. Oh, no!
Oh,
Mello's
no.
just... Oh, Jesus! Cotter's just gone into the old pit lane. This is going to be very awkward for him to get back out on circuit. Oh, wow, it's all happening. We're going to see Cotter just limping across the line here for 9th position. Might get done by Garrick in the background there. Wow, we will come back to that in a post-race briefing, I suppose. But Alex McEwen takes P1 untouched that entire race, led into turn 1, and we never saw him again. Dean Hanley, what a race from him. The Zach-accelerated training program absolutely paying dividends for him tonight. Gets a P2 here in race 1. Absolutely cracking drive, perfect awareness and great pace at the end. Strategy calls, everything worked out perfectly for him. Nick Mello as well, we saw struggling in the early stages of this race, but manages to claw it back. I think there's going to be a penalty coming his way, maybe. I don't know. There was just tangling between him and Cotter at the end. Whether Cotter was trying to squeeze him or the other way around, that's not for me to say. Scott Courtney takes P4, however. So he was also struggling at the start of this race, but managed to come back at the end. Will Kirk, we saw, could have had P2 under his belt, but just found himself in a very unfortunate situation. Dropped like a stone towards the end of that race. Andrew Ferguson making up a number of positions to end up in P6, so a great race from him. And you wouldn't expect anything less from Barbagallo's favourite son. Ryan Nielsen crossing the line in 7th position with Brando Pierce as well, and Matt Cotter. Well, what could have been, but 9th position for him for now, until the stewards go and have a look at what just happened at the end of that race. Scotty Garrick crossing the line for 10th, Lindsay.
Yep, that was cracking stuff towards the end. Obviously, you were there for all of it. I wasn't, but from what I saw, that was absolutely fantastic stuff. And that final corner, talk about getting pit-walled.
Yeah.
That was textbook murder if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, wow. And like 5 minutes later, he would have just been able to bounce off the wall and still come across the line for P3 or 4. Sorry, P4. But yeah, that was couldn't have picked a worse position to go off the track. It's dead set. Where is Alex McEwen going? He's just gone into the garage to have a little look around back here at Barbagallo. He's looking for the little magic hole to get back to that jump around near the front T1 there, but I don't know if it's even possible to get through there anyway. But there he is doing a celebratory line locker up the pit straight, and why not? It was a masterclass in strategy, pace, and race management there from the now championship leader, Alex McEwen, because that was a big gap there back to Matt Cotter in the points department, with Matt Cotter finishing 9th. So a big shake-up in the championship standings.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting race. When push came to shove, the boys just had a very variant amount of tyre wear on their cars, and it definitely showed. You had some people full lock left trying to keep the car in a straight line when they had any sort of right foot down, and then you had other cars just sailing through the corners like it was a completely different class. So it was almost like a multi-class race there at the end with the tyre grip, and it definitely showed with the way the race ended.
Yeah, well, you can pop that in the book at how important strategy is in these Gen 3 supercars, because only a matter of laps between when these guys pitted, but when the grip comes to you is very important late in the race, and we saw that happen firsthand. Will Kirk and Matt Cotter, a couple of the first guys to pit. I know Matt Cotter was definitely the first to pit, and he was certainly struggling with grip late in that race, but something to keep aware of for the feature race coming up, ladies and gentlemen. 76 laps around this beautiful circuit out here in Perth. And it is a minimum two stops mandatory. So we're going to see a number of different strategies and how they attack it. And hopefully a few notes taken down in the data department from race 1 and from the Super 2 races that we saw earlier on this evening as well. So everyone at home, it's time to go and refill your beverages, refill your packet of cheesels, whatever you're eating, because we will be back in just a few short moments with the feature race of this evening. 76 laps around the Barbagallo Cardco.com Wanneroo, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be back soon, so do not go anywhere. And we're back on circuit, ladies and gentlemen. Mind the black sky, because I've tried everything in my power to fix that. For some reason, it just keeps handing it out. I don't know why. All settings are the same, so before you whinge in the chat, Zach, I have tried. Lindsay Muddle, we've only got a minute to go. Who's our points on here to take this race to?
Oh, see, I'm honestly not sure with the addition of a whole extra leg to the race compared to the 37 lap race 1. But also on that, you've got then a bunch of drivers who are going to be working their way back through. You can never really count out Alex McEwen. I feel like he's the safe bet, and also I feel like as well Nick Mello is a good shout.
Yeah, exactly. You got to watch Cotter as well. He's up there in 6th position, so he will be fighting his way through the field. Quick, smart as well. So let's get ready for a start, ladies and gentlemen. They're off and racing. Hayden Cook just a little bit tardy off the line, but he will get the jump on Alan Nielsen. Jack Ferguson as well, just spinning himself out in the background. He's gone off the field, and he's taken bloody somebody else with him as well. His old man. Oh, he's written out of the will. That is crazy stuff. Oh, no, that's disaster for him. Not allowed in this race. I cannot get back to the pits. Can somebody transport my car back to the pits? This is going to be awkward. I'm going to have to do it myself because of the restrictions on the thing. So, Lindsay, please take it away.
Yeah, so while Munro DSQs himself from the race, so yeah, So he gets sent back to the pit lane. We have a little bit of squabbling going on here up the front. It looks like Nielsen is putting the pressure on Pierso as they head through towards turn number 7. The final corner of lap 1 is, it looks like Cook is under pressure as well from Scotty Garrick, who goes down the inside and gets the place. There's the van. They're all having to get around the sensational van. He can't get rid of it. And that's definitely going to change the way this race goes if he can't fix it. It's like the inside of the Long Beach corner as well, all over again, except way more exaggerated as Pierso slots into third position, and now Nielsen
I'm gonna have to get out of the server.
See the run up the inside, and there we go. We can't see anything. Oh no.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the theatre of the mind now. You can imagine who is out there. I'll tell you what, who made it so you cannot teleport your car back to the pits? That is a wild idea out there in SimSational.
Did a van lap.
Well, I couldn't. I don't even have the possibility to do that. But back here, we're back in the racing now. Hayden Cook is just getting swamped here by the likes of, that's Mello, that's Pierce as well. Alex McEwen, Dean Hanley as well for the lead of the race, though. Pierso's out there. I think once the timing tower sorts itself out, looks like Scott Garrick is actually the man out in front. You can see in that beautiful little Toyota. But Pierso certainly there with Ryan Nielsen. It's actually Alan Nielsen right out in front there in the Pertec Mustang. So we finally get things sorted out in the back end of things. It's one of those things in sim racing, and technical things start to really take their toll. Absolute rubbish. But we battle on here. Ryan Nielsen is on the back of Pierso. Lindsay, starting to heat up.
Yep, Nielsen has been hounding the back of Pierso since the beginning of this lap, and he's still trying to get the move done. He sits 2.5 tenths behind as they drag race now towards the final corner of the circuit. It's been a very strong overtaking zone, as we saw in race 1, and now he switches to the inside. Now he's just got to not go deep and let Pierso get the switch back. He nails the apex, runs out a little bit wide, but still pulls up to the corner nice and easy. But Pierso's not done with it just yet. He still sits in the slipstream. Nielsen defends the inside. Pierso now trying it the long way around, but that's not really going to work, but a little bit wide off the exit there is Nielsen, but Pierso just running out a little bit cutting it back too close, I reckon, just compromising his exit a little bit more than he needed to, and Nielsen is now going to be slotting into defense or runaway mode depending on how much pace he has underneath that Ford Mustang, and the Hidden Valley race winner of Pierso drops off the podium places here on lap 4.
Yeah, he certainly is. We had a little intro, a trip down memory lane at the start of this broadcast for all the tracks we've been to so far this season, and Pierso winning in Hidden Valley with a tight little battle with Matt Cotter towards the end, made its way onto the highlights reel, as might this little battle here with Jason McFadden up the arse of Alex McEwen, who in turn has caught him in his grips there as well, down here in 9th position. But as we said, very long race coming up, 71 laps to go. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. It will be over in the blink of an eye, even though it seems like a bit of an enduro at the time being. It's going to be tight because these guys are so evenly matched on pace all up and down this field. There will be battles, and the ebb and flow of the race will be coming to us. But here it is. Like Alex McEwen, one of the quickest out there, and he's just found himself in a little sandwich, and he's a patient driver, Lindsay. You never really see him try and force too much in the early stages of these races, and for good reason. You can find yourself tangled up, and Jack Ferguson, perfect example down the back, just feeding it up a little bit too aggressively there in lap 1, and finds himself last.
Yeah, I think a good show of Alex McEwen's patience that comes to mind is Wednesday Cup at Road America in the Pragas with the reverse grid format. He just really slotted himself through as McFadden gets down the inside now of McEwen as they head towards turn 1, and they're going to be side by side. McEwen trying it a long way round, and they're still wheel to wheel, bouncing over the curb goes McFadden, and they're still drag racing here as they head through turn 2 and 3 and towards the long left-hander of turn 4. He's still trying it on the inside is McEwen, but McFadden has the run, and he just about holds onto the place. Fantastic stuff, but McEwen's not done just yet as they make their run now towards turn 6. They go through the long right-hander. This is a critical exit of the lap as they now make the run towards the final corner, and now Fergo's on the back of McEwen as well as they head towards the final corner, and Ferguson now has a brilliant run on Alex McEwen as they head towards turn 7. McEwen defends the inside and he's trying not to lose the place and head outside the top 10. Fergo not making it easy though. They're side by side on the exit of the final corner. We've seen how that ends in disaster, but it doesn't end in disaster this time. This time they're just wheel to wheel into turn 1. McEwen has the inside line and he's still trying to hold on, but it's really not working here against the two soft compound tyre runners that came up behind him.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it's all about. In these early stages of the race, I think starting on the soft would have was probably the move, but Alex is very confident in his ability on those hard tyres, but I'll tell you what, just making life hard for himself here at the moment with the likes of Ferguson getting around him fairly easily, and now Hughes lining up as well. Dean Hanley was seen with the pace in race 1 as well, but he started on the hards too, but I think Hughes is the next cab off the rank to have a real crack here. Alex McEwen looks to go defensive as well, or half defensive. McEwen missing the apex just slightly, a little bit deep there, but now Hughes has the traction and has the momentum. He might just be able to poke his nose up here into turn 1. Alex isn't going to turn in on him, just waits and takes his time, has to go around the outside. And look at Dean Hanley just making his presence felt back there, and maybe even thought about having a dip, but I think just pulled out of it at the end because I don't think he wants to get too tangled up. And look at all the happenings up here. Andrew Ferguson, he's got Courtney and McFadden here in a little three-way car battle here at the moment as they go down the hill now for the 8th time. Here goes Ferguson. Oh wow, very opportunistic. Says thank you Scotty for the gap. It's only about big enough to fit my Mustang through, but I'm going to squeeze it through Matt Cotter Mandingo style. Here he goes, and he goes up into 9th position. This is a great little overtake, but maybe Scott Courtney is going to look to return serve here, Lindsay, in the old up and under.
Yep, as they head through the final corner and now make the run towards turn 1. He opened up, but he's made a mistake there. That's very wide and definitely bottomed out there on the final corner curb. And now Hughes is actually the car probably putting more pressure on, but Courtney definitely is going to want to find himself just back up again. But with hard tyres, definitely going to be a little bit of an interesting situation as the soft runners are cutting through. But you said that the soft runners probably the play. But I don't know about that because this stint will come back to the hard compound tyre runners in a few laps. Those softs will lose grip, and then I think we'll see everything but in reverse with the likes of McEwen and Courtney attacking. So I think that is something to look out for later on in this stint. But for now, yeah, the soft compound tyre runners definitely have the upper hand, but that was always going to be the case. And Nielsen has absolutely ran away 5 seconds up the road to the other Nielsen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just messing with the pure settings to try and get rid of this light sky. But here goes Nathan Hughes up the inside now of Scott Courtney. Had a little dip, but Courtney had the advantage of the momentum around the outside there. So fantastic awareness there from him. As I try and do 2 things at once, I just do not know how to fix this bloody thing. It is so annoying. Let's restart track settings to default. Let's see if that works. It does not. I don't think there's going to be anything I can do here to fix this this bloody night sky. Could be something to do with with just a set course of things in general. But the battle's on, and Scott Courtney just goes off the track there at the kink. That's going to open the door for Nathan Hughes and maybe McEwen as well, just lining up as well, looking for that late apex slingshot maneuver out of the final turn. Both of those guys getting up beside. There goes Hughes, and just a bit of rubber banding maybe on the service side of things. They're going to make it 3 wide here, I've got a feel. No, that was Alex McEwen. He was never going to go for that move. Better off just holding off and waiting, but Scott Courtney going a bit shallow on the exit there to keep McEwen at bay. Cheeky stuff there indeed. But Dean Hanley is just primed and ready for maybe a 2 for 1 here. He's just sitting on the rear quarter panel of Alex McEwen, and it's a good place to be. I'll tell you what, it's only 10 laps into this race, and they're battling it out like it's a sprint race. As always, it's really hard to tell the difference once the lights turn green, once the helmet's on. It's all systems go and battles away. The Nielsen brothers lead this race. Alan out in front, Ryan Nielsen 4 seconds back. and then another 1.5 seconds to Scott Garrick. These guys out in front have really, I guess, what do you call it? Making hay while the sun is shining. Not quite literally. They're in the server with the dark sky up top. I'll keep banging on about that because it's really pissing me off. And Pearso there as well can probably join that little crew. Matt Cotter now doing a personal best that last time around, 57.4. He's on the hard compound as well. So a lot of these faster guys have chosen to really start off on the hard compound tyres. So who else is out there? We're going to see the culmination of these strategy plays towards the end of this race, I suppose, Lindsay. But my guess would have been to start on the soft, but what do I know?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have started on the hard. So I guess we're in two minds here in the commentary box. But Mello is defending the inside. Oh, there's contact there. He's been clipped by McFadden. Oh no, they hit each other. And, oh no, the teammates colliding. Number one rule in motorsport: do not hit your teammate. And that's exactly what they've done. They've gone in a little bit too hot through turn 6, and that's not what you want to do. As now they've invited Nathan Hughes into the fight as well. He's trying the outside of the final corner as Hughesy is. He's going to be drag racing McFadden towards turn 1, but the captain now sitting in P8 will have to close back up to Fergo, but Fergo sitting on the soft tyres as they're still wheel to wheel through turn 1 on McFadden and Hughes. And there we go, McFadden getting the place, but they've invited a lot of cars into this now. You have Cordham, Hanley, McEwen, that whole train. We were watching only a couple of laps to go. They are now right there with some of the soft runners as well.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably starting to get to that crossover stage where the soft tyre is starting to come back to where the hard tyres are sitting pace-wise. So it's that 13 to 18 lap mark we saw in the first race where the soft runners did start to come in and take their pit stop. So we'll probably see that soon enough. I think 18 laps is pretty long on the soft tyre, but there's Lockie Grant just ducking out of the slipstream. And have a little look at Alex McEwen. He's on the soft comp. No, they're both on the hard compound tyre. So Alex McEwen just going, well, he started in 13th and he's sitting in 13th currently. So not making any inroads there on that hard tyre, but still plenty of race to come. 62 laps, in fact. So I guess we'll check in with these guys later on in the race to see how that has all turned out. Here's Barbagallo's favourite son now. He's on the back of his mate Nick Mello as well, coming down into turn 6. You can see Mello just losing the rear end on entry, but gathering it up and getting the power down as well. This is Mustang v Camaro racing fans. 4/10 the difference between these two guys, and I'll tell you what, Ferguson does love this track. He was lightning there in race 1. Pearso, the first man to blink, he jumps into the pit lane. That's 15 laps in for Pierce. So he'll come out in the thick of it down there and probably around 15th or 16th position for the first time through. Each one of these guys has to travel through the pit lane twice, change their tyres to a different compound along the way. So the strategies are all up in the air right now, Zach, Lindsay.
Yep, wrong co-commentator, Chris. It's like me calling you Matt Munro like 8 times in Long Beach.
Yes.
But anyway, there's a lot of battling going on up and down the field at the moment as Fergo and Nick Mello still sitting very close together as Hughesy also trying to attack the back of McFadden as well as Cordham and Hanley in the background of that fight as well. McEwen struggling to make headway at the moment, not finding his way through as quickly as he potentially would have liked, but as you said earlier, Chris, there's still a lot of racing left to be had, so I think we'll see that it'll eventually come back to a lot of these drivers who started on the hards, as we now see Scotty Garrick into the pit lane as well, so he'll fall down as goes when you make a pit stop. With the mandatory 2-stop in this race, I'm not sure what strategy people are going to go for. Will they go for the hard soft hard, or the hard soft, or the hard soft? I don't know how much really these tyres have to give because I haven't called this series too many times, but yeah, I think for me I would have started on the hards like a lot of the drivers just a little bit further down at the moment have done, and just let the race come to them. Yeah,
exactly. That's I guess there's 2 ways to skin the cat in the starting department, so we'll see how that plays out throughout the race, and that's an interesting thing to wrap your head around anyway. when it comes to these longer form races, just to see who gets the rub of the green, so to speak. Speaking of rubbing, these two guys rubbing their passenger doors together. Dean Handley looking up on the inside of Scott Cortum, gets that job done. Scotty looking for the switchback, gets that job done. So they're going to go side by side now through the pit straight. Cortum had the momentum, and he will lead the pair into turn 1. There's McEwen back there as well, just waiting for some of these crumbs to fall off the table like a good Labrador there, just waiting to lick those off the ground. There goes Hughesy off the track and never to be seen again. Tell you what, you fall off at race 4, at turn 4, you have got a long way to come to get back out to where you were on the circuit. So poor old Nathan Hughes. We saw Jojo Higgins in the Super 2 race fall off the track there a couple of times, and that was just disaster for them down there. So turn 4, of all the turns, you do not want to go off at turn 4. I tell you what. Here's Dean Handley though, still on the attack with Scott Cortum there in 7th position. We saw these guys battling it out in race 1 as well. So Handley knows how to make that overtake happen. I think on the next time around, you just got to maybe just do the old park it on the apex to stop that up and under strategy that Cortum's so good at.
Yeah, I think that parking on the apex is easier said than done though with the brakes on these Gen 3s. They love to lock up, and I think we've seen more than a lot of that going into turn 1. So I think that it's all about just trying to get the car pulled up and not get switched back, which we've seen a few drivers manage to pull off, but parking on the apex definitely not the easiest thing. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't see so many switchbacks as they continue to move on into this race. This race is absolutely flying by on lap 19 of 76 now at this point. Yeah, this track is absolutely fantastic, and the laps go by quickly. There's a lot of moves, there's a lot of overtaking opportunities, which we're about to see in play now as Handley shows the nose on the inside, but doesn't go for it. Has he opened up the final corner more, though? It looks like he has a great run off of turn 7, and now towards turn 1. Will he be able to attack? Will he be close enough? Will he go late on the brakes? Defending the inside is Cortum, and Handley now just has a better line. He has the more optimal line. He's forced onto the curb there from a little mistake from Cortum, and now he has the run all the way down through this snaky sector of turn 2 and 3, and now they hit the brakes into turn 4 and hold it tight to the inside, and then rocket ship off the corner, getting on the throttle as easy as you'd like to not spin the car. And this V8's a little bit wide off the exit there as Handley and Cortum really mighty through turn 4. Gained a lot of time, but Handley sending the entries to try and gain the time back, and that looks like where he's gaining a lot of the time here on Cortum. It looks like it's under braking where he gains a lot of the time as he has a good run now towards the final corner. Once again, it's going to be rinse and repeat of last lap. As they now head through turn 7, he does get a good run, but I think it's not going to be close enough for the second lap running.
Yeah, exactly. But in the meantime, I've seen the front runners come in for pit stop now. That's 20 laps in for these guys on the softs. That's a wild stint, but that opens it up now because that's 56 laps to go. You can probably come out on a set of hards, do that middle stint, and hopefully get a bit of clear air and then come in for your soft pair of tyres for the end. But these two guys locked in an intense little battle. We're riding on board with Dean Handley. Let's get in the car and see the wheel work. In the Camaro, here he goes, looking up the inside. Scotty Cortum goes for that sort of outside in line through turn 6 there. Going for the late apex. It's like a slingshot. You can get that the aid of that up the hill and the longer run. So you do just sort of it's sort of a defense mechanism as well, because you do just get the jump on your adversaries up the hill and sort of covers off that that threat of attack into turn 7, should I say. The 7, 9, who knows how many turns there are in this track. Some people say that turn 1 and 2 are just there, with turn 3, 4 and turn 5 up to the left, but this is turn 4 in my eyes. Here we go. You can see just how good these two guys are under pressure. Scott Cortum can defend. We've seen it all through race 1, specifically with Dean Handley behind him. Coming down into turn 6 now, and Dean Handley just maybe outbraking himself a little bit, maybe looking for that late apex as well, but it wasn't enough to close the gap. Scott Cortum doing a great job out there for the time being, but we're going to leave these two guys and have a look down the back here because Scott Garrick in one of the lonely Toyotas down here. What's happened up here? No, nothing. Just timing tower playing havoc. But the Toyota out here really hassling the back of Ryan Nielsen once he's come out of the pits.
Yep, and he's trying to attack, and yeah, as you were saying, one of the lone Supras, definitely not ideal to have so little Supras on the grid. I feel like more diversity would be nice, but when you have a series that doesn't quite have the Supra yet, I guess you don't have the people that are really backing it, but you do have a few, and they're definitely trying to give it their best go to try and make it look good, and it does look really stunning out there on the track, and it's a beautiful mod as well, done by the AK boys, and yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to see Garrick trying to put the pressure on, but he's dropped off a little bit of time to Nielsen. As now we go back to the battle we were watching as Hanley a lot closer than he has been on previous occasions as they head into the final corner. He's going to try the outside. Will he go for the switchback move? He does, but Cordham does manage to park it, but it's still a good exit from Hanley. Is in front of them. Fergo comes into the pits as he has the run now towards turn one. Dino up the inside, trying to get it done. There's a lock up there. There's contact. He's been hit in the rear, and here comes Alex McEwen trying to get both of them through one corner, but he has the outside now for the run towards turn four, but can he get it done? Can he get this fantastic double move done? No, not quite. Hanley showing the shoulders, giving him every bit of space that he requires, but not any more than that, as now Cordham's trying to attack McEwen back as well as they head towards turn number 6, and now as they head into turn 6, still McEwen on the inside, and he's just about going to hold off Cordham, but he doesn't now have the run towards the final corner. Cordham's not done yet. He's still pressuring Lockie Grant as well, trying to show a nose, but he's not quite close enough. But it's going to be side by side towards the final corner, and Cordham nearly getting the move done on the outside. He's not going for the switchback. He just gets it done purely as Alex McEwen pulls into the pits, but that was fantastic stuff through lap 23.
Yeah, great awareness there from Alex McEwen. He says, I don't want any more of this smoke, and he pulls himself into the pits just to pit himself out of it, because you can see him just there in a 4-car battle. If he stayed there any longer, it'd just be battle, battle, battle all the way around for the next however many laps you want. Mind you, he is on the hard tyre, so he could have gone further, but I think just in his mind of minds, he knew that it was time to just pit himself out of that and try and get into a bit of clear air, pop the soft tyre on and make up that ground elsewhere. So really smart driving there from Alex McEwen as the other guys keep battling on. But down here, it's Ryan Nielsen. He is now out on the hard tyre. He's got Elliott in front of him, who's on the old hard tyre as well. So he's going to make this pass look quite easy, I think, after, 25 laps. Those tyres are looking a little bit second-hand. Certainly anyone who's still on the softs. I think Andrew Ferguson has only just pitted for a set of hards. So he took those softs to about, 23 laps. So you can do it, ladies and gentlemen, but you really got to have your wits about you to keep the car on the road. But Nielsen now just getting past Andre Elliott, easy as you like. Next in line is Pearso and his brother up there, or his father or son. I'm not too sure. Someone said it was a father-son combo. I've been calling these names for the best part of 12 months, and I'm still not sure if they're brothers or I don't know, offspring or whatever. But Fabian has gone in. This one's for you, Ron, $2.99. Thank you very much, Fabian Fitness, for the donation. Up at the front, it's Cordham and Grant now locked in a little battle with Hanley, just showing a clear pair of heels once he got around these two guys. I tell you what, Hanley has got plenty of pace today, Lindsay. He's been right up there all throughout. He got himself a podium there in race 1, and I tell you what, he's continuing on that good luck here in race 2.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying. So whatever Zach given him, it's clearly working. Maybe a little bit of something in the wrist. Yeah, maybe something in the wrist, maybe something in the game files. Who knows what's going on inside the mind or the game files here for Dean Hanley, but he's absolutely flying around as there's Ron Marshall as well with the $5. Thank you. And there we go. He says, back at you, Fabian. So they're going to be in maybe a tipping competition here, potentially here in the chat. But now Nielsen is trying it on Pearso, and I don't think Pearso's going to make it easy, but with an exit like that, Nielsen should make it look easy as he's got the good run. Here comes Scotty Garrick as well. They could nearly go 3-1, but I don't think Garrick's going to commit to that, but squeezed all the way to the right here is Nielsen, as now Pearso opens up the final corner, and I thought he was going to go for the switchback, but there's contact instead. Pearso's been spun around. He spun towards the pit lane. Garrick's caught up as well, and that is absolute pandemonium as they try to return to racing speeds. Nielsen, the most hurt out of all of it there from that inside move, as though now Wallace is sideways through turn 1, and now Pearso's on the outside. They're wheel to wheel again, these two, causing trouble as ever it looks like it. They couldn't keep the nose out of each other through that little string of corners.
Absolute debacle there. I don't know what happened there. Maybe Pearso Pearso and Nielsen just coming together there and just causing absolute chaos for all the all in sundry coming up behind. So they no one really spilt their milk there. There was a couple of positions lost, but everyone ended up facing the right direction. So that's good stuff. And they will continue the battle now. Ryan Nielsen on the back of Pearso this time. Pierce just weaving in and out. I'll tell you what, some of the stewards are going to be onto him for that sooner or later. But here goes Nielsen just sending it around the outside. Keeps the momentum up, and Pearso's going to squeeze him up to the fence as well. Geez, I'll tell you what, Pearso's in the mood to get his bloody elbows out and hopefully can keep these guys facing the right direction. But I'll tell you what, the more you do that, the more you're dicing with danger around these skinny little circuits in cars with not much grip, plenty of horsepower. Certainly no traction control or ABS either. So just skilled drivers behind the wheel. And look at McEwen just making that overtake look easy there on Wallace. No, it's not Wallace. It's Nielsen, should I say. Wallace is behind. Let's get on board with him because he can see it all happening up in front. But McEwen still just teetering on the edge here in 12th position. He's made one pit stop. He's got Pearso on his inside. This is going to be awkward here because Andre Elliott there is kind of going slow, and Pierce just as well, just parking it on the apex. This is a nightmare here for McEwen. He's made his way through somehow without getting tangled up there. Just a testament to how he can really race cleanly and has great situational awareness, Lindsay.
Yeah, we say that after what just happened. But yeah, Pearso definitely trying to now keep his nose maybe a little bit more clean. I feel like if he kept on racing the way he was going, Zach O'Reilly, instead of calling him Pearso, would start calling him Brandon the Baldy.
Yeah.
But Andre Elliott sitting in the background definitely had the popcorn bucket out in the non-existent passenger seat in these V8 supercars. And he's been munching on it because he's been watching all of this right in front of him on the track, just hoping they crash. And when they came together, he probably had a little bit of a code brown, as Fergo now has a move up the inside, and he should be able to get this move done as they head towards the final corner of the circuit, as he does go wheel to wheel, and he's up the inside. It should be easy, does it here, and he does get the move done. So Fergo up into 14th. He made those softs go a mighty long time. That makes me wonder how long he's going to make those hard compound tyres last.
Yeah, well, he's got a good gauge about where he can pit himself in, or at least how long those softs go in relation to the hards. So he'll be looking now to make the best of these hards, and he'll probably be able to pit at the optimum time to get the most out of those softs before, like a lot of these guys that pitted early, think about that. They'll have to come in probably earlier than they like for that last stint. And the last few laps out there on an old buggered set of softs, they'll be looking to go backwards. But guys that pit later, obviously going to have more tyre to use at the end of this race. So you just keep an eye out for Ferguson, and a late charge for him in the last maybe 5 to 10 laps as compared to everyone else around him. But I'll tell you what, this battle's just breaking out all over the circuit here. Here goes Nielsen up the inside looking at Brandon Pierce, but Pierce just covers him off. Tell you what, he is in the mood to get his elbows out today, is Brandon Pierce. Dion Clerk, just you can see in the background there off the circuit, not doing what he wanted to do there in the Toyota, but loses a couple of positions for that. But Brandon Pierce just getting the better of it, and now poor old Nielsen just losing touch with him there as the battles just continue on all up and down the field. Here's McFadden on the back of Ezra Simons now coming down into turn 6.
Yeah, McFadden is going to try put the pressure on. We saw Fergo get past Simons a few laps ago, and then now it's going to be McFadden's turn. So as they head through turn 6, he does have a good run as, what is there a safety car for? Is it the stranded Supra?
There must be, but we've had confirmation from the race directing channel that there is a safety car out on circuit. Let's see if that's going to be yeah, it is. There we go. You can see them all lining up behind the AK Racing Ford Raptor. And race neutralised, Lindsay. This is interesting. Coming up on half race distance as well. So we've seen about half the field just dive into the pits as well. So the complexity has just upped a notch here for race 2 with 34 laps to go. No. Test the math out. Nah, can't tell you. 30-something, 42 laps to go. Oh, God.
The anti-human calculator here.
Yes.
Chris Munro in all of his glory.
Yep.
But, yeah, we got a while to go in this race. But if I was anybody out on the track with that safety car, I would have just boxed for a fresh set of hard tyres, even if I was recently pitted, because that'll just allow you to go so much longer. And the offset on strategy would, I think, be really key heading into the final stages. I think it could be a big advantage to anybody who just pulled into the pits, as the camera angles, at least on my end from what I'm seeing, are absolutely having a mare at the moment. I don't know if that comes across for other people as well, or if that's just me. But for me, I'm seeing all the cars glitching back and forth.
Oh no, that's not ideal. Mine are okay. We'll keep it there.
Okay,
so that's
Discord being Discord.
maybe just Discord doing Discord things here at the moment. But Matt Cotter is in the lead, and that lead is, well, he's got McEwen and Mello and McEwen behind him. Will Kirk, a very familiar top 4 that we saw for the majority of race 1. Dean Hanley there to boot. That's another familiar name. It's amazing now that the safety car has come out on track. I guess the cream has just risen to the top very, very quickly. And we're going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned tussle here with the top 8 all coming out on soft tyre compounds. Then we've got Garrick and Pierce still persisting on the hard. And Elliott's on the soft, Ferguson on the hard. As you can see yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, on the very right-hand side of the timing tower. Tells you what tyre compound they are using. Tell you what, it might even been time. I think the top 8 have got it right out there on the soft, because you can probably squeeze about 20 laps out of it. So 20 plus 2, or times 2, is around 40. They're going to be struggling late, but they're going to be all right there and racy here for this restart that's probably going to come, not this lap, but the next one.
Yeah, I mean, my thought process would have been, yeah, the soft tyres might have it right, but they'll definitely be really struggling. But I think if you went to a set of hards, if you're further down the back, if you're up the front, you want to be on softs. But if you're a little bit further down, just past the midfield, you could go onto hards, have a really big tyre offset at the end, and just absolutely launch it. Yeah,
so guys like Garrick and Pierce are probably, and Ferguson there as well. McFadden, throw him in the mix. Probably well poised for a nice little third stint charge towards the end of this race.
Yeah, as still we've got the curse of the black sky. I love that.
Yeah,
actually.
I know.
I've just seen that in chat.
I've tried everything. I'm gonna just mess with it now while we have this little lull in the.
Yeah, I mean, Zach had an idea as to what it was, and I mean, one of the statements he made, when you hit the reset button, it fixed itself. So
yeah, momentarily, but then it went back to it. So I could turn weather effects off, but I don't think I can do it while
let's see what that does.
Well, I can't actually while the race is running. What I can do is just keep pressing buttons on here and see what happens. I can reset.
What about the night sky effect?
Night/sky. That doesn't do anything. Sky level. That's That affects the
Better.
whole thing. Moon, maybe. Night pollution.
There we go.
Has that fixed it?
Looks like it.
No.
Oh, no.
Sun and moon doesn't do anything. Density, no. Lowest ambient, no. Moon, no. I think we're racing again, ladies and gentlemen. No. We are poised for a start. We're off, and it's green light racing now as they all come streaming in to the to turn one. There's Pearso having a look up the inside. I think one of the Mobile 1 cars just got turned around there, but it looks like they've all gotten through somehow. That's Lockie Grant. There's Scott Garrick in the thick of it. Will Kirk back there as well. Wowee, they've all gotten through pretty well, but Mello right underneath the rear wing here of Matt Cotter as they go through the kink here for the first time after the restart. Heading down the hill into turn 6. Who's there to make a move? It looks like Dean Hanley's dropped off the track. Oh no, disaster for Hanley. He's dropped about, 6 or 7 positions there off the start, so that is not ideal for Hanley getting back on the track, but still just getting swamped up the hill because those tyres are just a little bit second-hand, a little bit dirty after the restart. That is, oh no, disaster for Hanley. He was right up there in the slot. But speaking of which, here's Nielsen. He's got Grant and Ferguson battling it out next to him beside, just behind him, should I say. Here goes Ferguson just dipping up the inside of Lockie Grant. They're going to go side by side. Back further in the field is Elliott and McFadden going side by side as well. Elliott just getting the jump on McFadden as they stream through. Wowee, where else are we looking? Down the back here, Simons and Hughes and Nielsen. And Jack Ferguson, let's ride on board with Jack Ferguson because he's got the best view of the house here. Lindsay Muddles, whoa, no, he's almost lost it. Oh, wowee. All happening here, wowee. Where do you even start to look? It's Andre Elliott, I think. This is the best little battle here, shaping up for the top 10.
You can't discount the battle at the front, though. That top 4 still very, very close together as Grant gets the place on Fergo into the final corner. There's a little bit of battling going on all around here in the top 6 to about the P11 area. They're still side by side. Grant and Fergo now very close together, and now he has the run on Pearso as well towards turn 1. It's late on the brakes. There's a little bit of contact there, and he says thank you very much to Fergo. Tries it the long way round. Will he have the good exit? Yes, he will, but they're going to be drag racing now towards turn 4. They go, but he still has the inside line to Ferguson, and it looks like he could hold on, but Lockie Grant's not giving up. He's on the throttle just as early as the car next to him. He's trying, but it's going to be a compromised line through there. He gets the squeeze, and now Scotty Garrick might see an opportunity to try the inside. He does, but oh no, here comes Andre Elliott up the inside. That is a fantastic move and a very bit of decisive overtaking there. That was fantastic on the brakes. That could have gone very wrong had he not pulled it up, but he did it to absolute perfection, and now he's trying to pressure the back of Lockie Grant. Does he have it into the final corner? No, not quite close enough as Matt Cotter sets the fastest lap of this race with a 56.0, absolutely flying, but it looks like it's just kind of swapping hands a little bit here because we're on the safety car restart with a lot of soft compound tyres, but these drivers absolutely giving it everything. These are the fastest laps, at least that I've seen so far this race, and also from race 1.
Yeah, we'll probably see a few qualifying laps coming up shortly from the guys out in front. They've got a bit of a gap as well. Matt Cotter's just fired away to a 2-second advantage over Nick Mello currently, so he is putting in those qualifying laps. We will see them all start to pop up on the screen later on. But I'll tell you what, going back to that overtake, the previous lap from this guy, sorry, not him, it was Elliott, the other grey Sim Blacks 2 driver. Absolutely beautiful. Just took him out of nowhere. The big dummy down the inside. And as you said, Lindsay, could have been disaster had he not pulled it up. But certainly had that car on a string there, basically. And here's a nice little battle here. Lockie Grant looking up the inside, just managing to maybe scare Ferguson into an early defensive move. But just didn't have any answers after that as they just slot back into how they were going beforehand. Let's run on board with Andre Elliott because he can see Lockie Grant out his front window. Lachlan Grant just in his own mind thinking, I could try and get past Andrew Ferguson here. But I'll tell you what, Fergo is on the charge. He's got Brandon Pierce up in front of him as well. and doing a great job so far on the hard compound. As we said earlier, Lindsay, these guys, him and Pearso on the hard, and doing a great job out there in front. They're going to probably go long in this next stint, probably pit around, lap 60 maybe? I think so. Another 20 laps to go for these two guys, and by then they'll be well out in front, because all the guys that have pitted recently for the softs will probably be looking for a way out. Here's a nice little battle shaping up here, Lindsay. It's Kirk and McEwen side by side.
Yeah, as they're running towards turn 4 now, Kirk has the outside, but he just shuts the door on Alex McEwen, but he has the run back through the mid-corner here. This corner goes on for an absolute age, but Kirk getting the move done. McEwen not done, though. He has a good run off of turn 5, and now he's trying to pressure as they head towards the turn 6 hairpin, but not quite close enough. But all it takes is a good exit out of turn 6, and you have a beautiful move into turn 7, the final corner, but it looks like McEwen not having enough here. Kirk looking very, very comfortable and in control of his car at the moment as we head towards the next lap of this race. There's still a lot of racing left to be had, though. McEwen not going to give that up so easily. Even if he falls away from it now, it'll come back to him at some point. But now he has to look in his mirrors and he has to be focused on the car behind him. Scotty caught him, trying to put the pressure on now to McEwen, who looks like he's falling back just a little bit here. The race 1 winner potentially not having the dream story would have potentially been hoping for.
Yeah, he's a lot closer than he was the previous, I guess, the 41 laps leading up to this moment. He was down there in that mid-pack for quite some time at the start of this race. Started on the hards, and all for nothing really in the end, because of the safety car coming out at the time it could. It could have been out there and on the new set of soft compound right up there regardless, just thanks to the timing of the safety car. But that's what it's all about down here in sim racing and in real racing, mind you. Curveballs can be thrown, and you've got to be ready to adapt on the fly. As we see Dean Hanley just getting around Lockie Grant, going the long way as well. There's a bit of a 3-wide action happening up here. Ferguson and Andre Elliott. Wowee, they all converged on the same little bit of track there, so luckily they all got through there unscathed. But here goes Ferguson now, just closing into turn 1. Little bit of contact, little bit of hip and shoulder, nothing to spill your milk about. And Elliott wants to argue the point as they both go side by side up over the whoop-de-doos, and Elliott just getting the worst of it through there as well. And Hanley's ready to pounce, and he's just leveling up alongside. And the superior traction there and beautiful throttle control sees Hanley get that position done as well over Elliott, just dropping places like a stone at the moment. And look at them all close in down the hill. The other Simblacks driver there of Hayden Cook just pestering the back of Lachlan Grant, and Ryan Nielsen chiming in as well. We saw him in the previous round at Sebring. He was absolutely flying. He was on fire that whole round. So certainly has come to grips with the way that these Gen 3 V8 supercars drive. But as we've seen from round to round, some circuits do tend to suit a certain driving style, as some other circuits do not, Lindsay. So I guess that's something to think about out there. But these guys up the front, seems that all of the circuits suit them at some point or another.
Well, I mean, when you're at the top of the game fighting for a championship, you've got to be good no matter what. Yep. And I think that's what we're seeing every single week. You still have the same few names still fighting up the front, because you've got to be if you want a championship. And I think now we're going to see a move into the final corner. Caught him trying the outside on McEwen, and that's a very aggressive move, but he just sails the outside, and McEwen hastily pulling into the pit lane as well. So potentially an early pit stop there for Alex McEwen.
Yeah, that's an interesting manoeuvre there. 32 laps to go. So if he thinks he can maybe get to the end on a set of hards, I think that might be what he's thinking might be. Because I'm pretty sure he did pit with the rest of the crew out there in front on the new set of softs. So an interesting manoeuvre, but as we've seen in the past, the stroke of genius in the Alex McEwen garage is often overlooked. So just keep your ear to the ground and see how that I guess that plays out going forward. But these guys now in the mid-pack, it's just been an absolute bloodbath here with battling all up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars the better of it now at the moment. were right on board with Lachlan Grant because, he can see it all happening. I don't know if he got a little bit of help there from Hayden Cook in the rear, but maybe just a little bit too overzealous on the right foot. Here goes Nielsen up the inside of Elliott. Gets the job done. Elliott just turning in. There's a car there and a little bit of contact on the way. Oh, no. He's binned himself back Cotter style into the old pit lane here at Wanneroo Raceway. And that's pretty much his race over. It's going to take him a long time to get out of that. Let's see where he's at. Yeah, just filtering back onto the circuit. Lindsay, that's disaster.
Yeah. I don't think you can park there. I don't think that's meant to be a parking garage. Would you believe it?
You can't park there, sir.
The front of his Camaro doesn't look very Camaro-ish at the moment. He's now going to have to limp around this circuit. But in the meantime as well, Nick Mello, I saw him come into the pit lane. So both of the Project 4 cars diving into the pit lane potentially early. But what tyre is he on? He's on softs. Is he trying a two-stop to the end? Or is he going to try and bring these softs as far as they can possibly go?
Well, both the Project 4 drivers coming out on a set of softs as well. So interesting. Maybe just looking for an undercut for the next round of pit stops. But McEwen has pitted himself into a little battle here, which is probably not ideal. He's got Jack Ferguson, Ezra Simons, as well as you can see the pit lane now lighting up with action. Is there another safety car out on circuit? Is that what's happening? Actually, there is. Stephen Marston, our race director, has just informed us that the race, the AK Racing safety car is out on circuit, just barely. It looked like it almost had a little trip off into the bunda, but it's got the four-wheel drive tyres on there as well. But that is terrible timing for the Project 4 race team.
Yeah, that is really not ideal because that now allows everybody to pit. As we see Clerk in third, he's on hards. The captain as well on hards. Simon's on hards and Wallace on hards. They definitely could be dark horses here for this race because they could potentially go to the end. But a lot of these drivers on new soft tyres like we saw Mello and McEwen do. So I think that there are potentially two strategies here that could get you to the end. And McEwen, I think, lost out from that because he was in, what, P4 or P5 when he pitted. Now he finds himself in 8th.
Yeah, he does have the advantage of being on that brand new set of softs, so he will be able to probably take Simons and Kirk in front of him quite easily. I don't think Cordham pitted either, so pretty much everyone in front of him I don't think have pitted. So he will have the option, or he will have the advantage of better grip. So he might be able to just get his overtake on and carve through the field. But 30 laps to go, he's probably going to have to traverse through the pit lane again. So I think guys like Will Kirk and Dion Clerk are kind of in the hot seat, just depending on how much fuel they took on their last time around. But I think certainly the hards will go 30 laps, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is really going to be interesting, actually. I think towards the end of this race, this is like the perfect time for a safety car from an entertainment perspective. I mean, absolutely. Now you have the split strategy. What is everyone going to do? Absolutely no clue is the answer here, at least in the commentary box. There's a couple of different options.
Yeah, and I think they're all viable, honestly. I think poor old Project 4 have just been hung out to dry, but they might be able to, going by their skill level, honestly, just to be able to nurse those soft tyres 30 laps. It's going to be a big ask. We saw Andrew Ferguson go 23 or 24 on them. Another 6 maybe? I don't know. They're going to have no pace, but we're racing again, ladies and gentlemen. The lights are green, and Dean Hanley just doing his best to throw it all away there on the outside of turn 1. Oh, the final turn, should I say, as they all come streaming through. I think a few people have been caught napping, and there's Alex McEwen up the inside of Simons. Gets that job done straight away, as we thought would happen. And but a big gap there in front to Will Kirk as well. So a few of these drivers caught napping there in the restart. And the gaps have just sort of opened up all throughout the field here. More gaps than my home tiling job. It's just absolutely ridiculous here at the moment. But here goes Nielsen up the inside of Hayden Wallace, who just sidesteps him, really. Doesn't put up much of a fight. And the other Nielsen goes through as well. So here goes Mello as well now on Dion Clerk. It's these restarts are just hard to keep track of. Absolute action everywhere. But Nick Mello goes up into third position. He'd be a Darky or a Smokey now for the win of this race. He's got Hanley and Cotter in front. Cotter's eked out a gap of 1.2 seconds to Dean Hanley. But the battling continues down here with Kirk and McEwen going side by side now into turn 4. McEwen on the other side of the track, but manages to just slide in front of the captain and get that overtake done. But this is a little 4-car battle. You could chuck a blanket over all 4 of them, Lindsay.
Yeah, speaking of chucking blankets, clearly a lot of the drivers did that over themselves on the restart. I didn't think you could fall asleep behind the wheel of a V8, but they managed to do it anyway. But now McEwen trying the outside, a little bit of a snap there as he's trying to put the pressure on Cordham, the captain as well in the background, trying to seek an opportunity, but with the hards, that'll be really, really tricky. But McEwen has a good run into the final corner, but Cordham also has a run here on Clerk as they head into the final corner of the Supra trying to defend. But I don't think he can do it as they now head towards turn 1, and this is going to be a little bit of a drag race. McEwen looks like he's cleared Clerk as well into turn 1. The Supra defenseless here with the hard compound tyres. Really, it's just not working for him, but potentially the race will come back towards him towards the end with the tyre wear. But now McEwen has to close up and pass Cordham. The closing up bit, not going to be that tricky. He's already pretty much right there. But the overtaking bit is always the hard part. And then he's got quite a gap to Nick Mello up the road.
Yeah, he does. And it's that age-old saying, isn't it? It's easy to close the gap, and it's another thing entirely to get that overtake done. But Alex McEwen, he needs to maybe put his aggressive hat on here for the next few laps, just to try and just get past Cordham. As we've seen in the past, Scott Cordham can be one of the more difficult drivers to overtake. He's got great racecraft, great awareness, and certainly does not like to see a car go around him, whether it be on the outside or the inside. So he will pull out all the stops and will make life difficult for the man here in the project for Mustang. So Alex really needs to maybe force this overtake. I don't think he can afford to just sit back behind him and watch the rest of the field scoot away. You can see his teammate up there 2 cars ahead, and he's probably got the pace as well to just start walking away from these two, especially if they start battling, which is already begun. So I think as I said, Alex needs to just get his aggressive hat on and really force an overtake. And it goes against the way that he drives, Lindsay. We've seen him in the past. He's usually cool, calm and collected and lets the race come to him. But now he needs to really take the race by the scruff of the neck and show it who's boss.
Well, you say that, but I mean, every time that I've seen him win from a position where he's down, he just keeps calm and collected anyways. He is now trying the outside. He is trying to get a move. But you always end up saying, and I've found myself saying this before as well, when it comes to Alex McEwen, he needs to probably get his head down and probably overtake a bit more than usual, but then he just keeps at his normal rate and somehow crosses the line first. Yeah. So, I don't know. You can never count him out. He's got grip EXE times 1,000 compared to Hanley's times 2. But yeah, McEwen definitely trying to get past Cordham, but just focusing on the exits as you need to do when you're sizing up an overtake. And it looks like he has a good run now towards the final corner. He's got a long bit of 100% throttle slipstreaming to go before he tries to make the move. But towards the final corner, he is going to shoulder his way to the inside. And now he gets to the apex first, and he's trying to inch ahead here. But on the exit, Cordham has a good run. It's going to be Mustang versus Camaro as per usual, and they're going to be wheel to wheel. McEwen late on the brakes, has the inside line, and it should come to him now. But on the exit, Cordham trying it, but doesn't look like he just has the power down, but he still just has a nose there. A lot of curb clip there for Cordham, and he just can't keep the nose in. And McEwen now moving into 4th position will be very happy with that move. And now he's got quite the gap to close to Nick Mello, 2.1 seconds up the road.
Yeah, not too far at all in racing terms, especially when It's still like 23 laps to go in this race. Plenty of time for those two guys. And Matt Cotter only, 2.3 seconds out in front of Dean Handley, who is probably about the same gap to his teammate Nick Mello, back by, or to Alex McEwen's teammate Nick Mello back behind him. So really only 2.46, 8 seconds up the road. Certainly doable for these guys on the pace that they're capable of. So just keep an eye out there. But down here is a battle heating up. The Nielsen boys both giving each other plenty to think about. I wonder if they're on the, they're in the comms together, obviously teammates as well. No love lost as well. You see these guys get tangled up, well, not tangled, but certainly under the heat of battle. Quite often they're very evenly matched. But look at the rear wing there of Ryan Nielsen at almost a 45-degree angle, hanging off. He's got not much downforce to play with in the rear end of that Mustang. That is for sure. What about Alan Nielsen's car? We'll see what sort of damage he's got. He's sweet. That's a perfectly straight-looking Mustang to me. No damage at all, so he's got the advantage now. He should be able to take so. But there goes Alan, just up the, up the inside there of Dion Clerk. Had a dive, and he's left himself vulnerable. Now the Pertec Mustang will have the better running, and he will get this job done before we even get to turn one. Maybe they're on the comms saying, oh, look, I don't know if I deserve that. I want another go. And he says, nah, sorry, son. That's me. I'll take that position. Up to 8th goes Alan Nielsen. One of his better results, too, of the season, Lindsay. We've seen a number of these drivers have topsy-turvy seasons. And now look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars covered by just under a second. Amazing stuff. And I think we're going to have some fireworks leading up to the end of this race.
Yeah, I would guess there's probably a theme to it when it comes to drivers having better or worse rounds, probably to do with the braking and traction zones of given circuits. I mean, these cars are really tricky to tame, but Pearso is going side by side with Lockie Grant, who's on the inside, trying to get that move done. Speaking of braking, here we go. He's going to need to brake really well to hold on here, and he does on the outside. Very snappy there from Lockie Grant. Oh, no. Oh, that's the Mustang off. That's Nielsen. That is Alan Nielsen off the track. And he now rejoins in 10th, but now side by side with Grant, who hits the gravel all the way on the outside, taking a scenic route at turn 1. But you don't want the views here on a racetrack. All you want to be seeing is the racing line and the cars in front. And he does manage to rejoin, but I would hazard a guess and say maybe that Mustang doesn't look so straight anymore.
No, let's just go and have a little look. It does actually.
How? He hit the wall.
He did hit the wall. Somehow kept it together too. I don't know how he didn't end up just facing the wrong way, but that's, I guess, testament to his driving skills. But let's look up here because his brother or son is up the inside of Dion Clerk this time, or his dad. He goes up, and I think he's going to get this job done this time. And here goes Ferguson, ready to clean up the scraps and gets that job done as well. Dion Clerk dropping 2 positions, maybe 3 now, because Pearso's lining him up into turn 1. He does. Gives him maybe a little bit of something to think about too. Weaving across the track. Oh no, Dion Clerk's just dropping like a stone here at the moment because there goes Lockie Grant around him as well. And Alan Nielsen probably the last one to have a look and just going to try and sail it around the outside. I don't know if Dion Clerk's super comfortable at the moment. Certainly doesn't look like it because he's lost, 4 positions in 3 corners. But he's going to try in a last-ditch effort to hang on to what he has. Lockie Grant ain't having none of it. Just giving him plenty of room. But I think on the traction stakes, looks like Lockie Grant has the better of it going up the hill. The Super, though, still not out of it. He's there, only about a length or 2 behind. He's not going to have a dip into the final turn this time. But I think Alan Nielsen's probably licking his lips here at the moment, just seeing that red Super falling back and thinking, oh, well, this could be an overtake for me. Gets very close into turn 1. And look who's chiming in behind. That's, McFadden. They both check up, and there goes McFadden. Gets probably going to get a 2 for 1 here. He does. It's all happening. I'll tell you what. For 22 laps to go now. No, 18 laps to go. We're on the final stretch here, ladies and gentlemen. Get your predictions in. Who's going to win it? Can Matt Cotter hold on? Is Nick Mello a chance? Where's Alex McEwen in 3rd? Is Will Kirk going to come through? Who were the guys on the hard tyre in that last pit stop, Lindsay? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but I know that we have the captain, Fergo, and Pierce on hards, so they could.
I think it was,
go
yeah.
to softs, and then they are on hards. You can see it on the timing tower what tyre they're on, but it's just who was in the last pit stops. But they're definitely in probably a better position than it shows with the gaps. Yeah,
I think Kirk was the leading hard tyre runner, so he's up there still in 5th. And really not that far off the pace. I reckon if he's got enough fuel to go to the end, he could be a dark horse to take this race and just pull the pants down of everyone around him.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen winners like that already this season. That's how Pearso won in Hidden Valley. He just stayed out, and he just had the track position. Cotter closed up, wasn't able to do anything about it. This is a very similar track, but there's a bit of a longer straight, which could potentially hurt a little bit if Kirk does have to defend. But Alex McEwen now blinking first, pitting early, like we've seen him do a few times this race. He's going to try the undercut, but where is he going to come out, and what sort of traffic is he going to come out into? Yeah,
I think, well, it's all bunched up now thanks to the last couple of safety cars. So he's probably just going to come out in a bunch somewhere. But you can see he's just, where is he now? He's moving. He's out on circuit. And yeah, he's got an absolute gaggle of cars in front of him. Not ideal for Alex McEwen. He's got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars that he's going to have to navigate. 4 of them are all on hards, actually. So he will have the superior grip. But I tell you what, they're not going to be pitting. They're going to be out there for quite some time. So he's going to have to go around the hard way, no pun intended.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be tricky for him. We know that he hasn't been getting the elbows out too much because that's just not his driving style realistically, but
no.
He's definitely going to now I'm going to do what you did before. I'm going to doubt his ways, and I'm going to say he's going to have to get the elbows out and really just give this one a red hot go if he wants to try and find himself in winning contention. But Alan Nielsen not making this easy for McEwen, really trying to still show the nose as they head into turn 1, but he doesn't go down the inside, and he has a little bit of a lock up to boot as well. So now McEwen just needs to try and drive off into the distance, but Nielsen actually fairly well keeping pace. Those soft tyres looking like they still have a little bit of grip left to give, so it makes me wonder why McEwen potentially did box as early as he did.
Yeah, I think maybe just to get the leg up over the competitors, but as you just said before, who are we to question the strategical master in Alex McEwen? We've seen it happen so many times that it just seems that he's got some sort of AI bot there running in the background to tell him when to make the right decision. But that's the best part about sim racing, ladies and gentlemen. It's all up to the drivers. The MBR team are both currently out doing fun things in the illegal times of 2025, but we won't go into that as Dean Hanley makes his way up beside Jack Ferguson. But he seems to just make the right calls consistently, and that's why he's up there in the championship hunt with Matt Cotter. And I tell you what, the way that if it was to finish as the positions are currently, they're going to be really tight on the championship standings. Maybe even Mello can make a run there. But look at this. This is like a 4-way battle here at the moment. McEwen up the inside of McFadden. McFadden squirrely as all hell, and he might just be able to get the traction down here, McEwen, and maybe overtake 2 on the way out. Here's Pierce. He's going to make easy work of him. You can see just the traction coming to him. And Lachlan Grant in front. He's going to just stick to the racing line. McEwen he's run out of room there. Needs something because Pierce almost just popped his bonnet of that Mustang up where he really didn't need it. And now McEwen just cutting through this field actually like a hot knife through butter. So who are we to question the master McEwen out there at the moment and really putting the hammer to these guys around him?
Yeah, I mean, he likes to make us look silly. I think that's the real driving motivation. The commentators will always doubt me, and I'll win anyway, I think is probably the motto that goes on in his head 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's what he's trying now, already into P5 and on the back of his teammate, Nick Mello. So definitely well within this hunt quite comfortably with 13 laps to go.
Yeah, this could be the thorn in his side, though. We've seen these two guys. I think their kind of team motto is let it play out on the track. There won't be any team orders here. Mello might make it easy for him, just knowing that he has the pace in reserve. So he might make it easy, but I don't think he will. I think Mello knows the score and probably needs to have the leg up on his teammate to be a chance in this championship as well in his own right. So I don't think there'll be any team orders between these two guys at all. Still, 12 laps to go. We're coming into the closing stages of this race, and look who's out in front. Our mate Will Kirk. He's on the hard tyre. Does he have enough fuel in the tank to get to the end? That is the story getting out there at the moment. I think Matt Cotter must have made a mistake because he has not made a pit stop again, surely. He's just going on those soft tyres. I don't think he can take them to the end if that's the attitude he had. I think there must have been a swap for position here. I think Matt Cotter has made a mistake, and now he's on the back of Will Kirk once more. And these two guys certainly no strangers, as we saw in race 1. And Lindsay's gone.
Your mic cut out, so
Mike?
I didn't know what was happening.
Ah.
Yeah, your internet,
Sorry.
at least on Discord end, is completely dying, and so I don't know what was going on.
Oh,
I don't know
God.
if you were handing to me or not.
Well, I am. There you go.
There we go. They go side by side. Cotter on the inside of the captain, and he's gonna hip and shoulder his way through. He moves back into the lead of this race. But we're talking about, does Kirk have the fuel? There is absolutely no way that you would stay out on hard tyres if you didn't think you could make the end with fuel. Surely, right? That would be the that would be the logic here. He surely has to just be trying to do what we saw Pearso do all those rounds ago, and I think that it could actually work here, considering he's still up there. He's still in second place. He does have a charging Alex McEwen that could be a bit of a pest in, well, not that many laps' time. But who knows? In the world of racing, anything can happen. And also, with the amount of safety cars we've had, you can't discount another one here with 10 laps to go.
Oh, can you imagine that? A safety car now would certainly throw the cat amongst the pigeons, as I imagine everyone would come into the pits for a new set of softs, and then it just becomes a sprint race to the end. But Will Kirk, I think, yeah, as you said, Lindsay, with 11 laps to go, it doesn't make sense for him to be out there on those old hards unless he can take them to the end. So he's just another little masterclass in strategic forward planning and a bit of fortune as well. And you need a bit of that sometimes, a little bit of luck. But, oh no, speaking of luck, Dean Hanley is down here at the bottom of the hill, down in turn 6, and he's facing the wrong direction. No, that's not what we want. He had the pace all day, but obviously just overcooking it there on the exit. Finding himself really just getting acquainted with that inside fence, and that's a disaster there for the Hanley household. Hopefully Kirsty can take the pressure off him after the race and make him feel good. I'm sure she will. Here's Pearso with, I'm not insinuating anything, just a foot rub.
Definitely
perhaps.
not.
Yeah, absolutely. But here goes Pearso.
Yeah, I believe you, Chris.
He's right up behind Nielsen, moving right along. You don't want to stop at the scene of the accident, as we've said many times before.
As Pearso showing the nose on the inside. Nielsen not really having to defend much just yet, but now Pearso, a little bit snappy on the exit. They're having to back out of the throttle just a little bit. Won't have the run now to try and pressure into the final corner, but he's just got to continue trying to put the power down as McEwen, 56.1. Absolutely flying and still on the back of Nick Mello as Pearso has the run towards turn 1. Will he go for it down the inside of Nielsen? It looks like he's trying to show the nose, and he's nearly alongside. Oh, there's a little bit of bump and run there. That could be Simpson's hit and run style here from Brandon Pearce as he tries to get the move done, and he does get it done with the nudge, and the bump and run working perfectly.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, we've got some comments from Kirsty, who is Dean Hanley's partner, saying that there's been some comments come out of the sin room that he might have been taken out. Oh no! So that's obviously one for the stewards there for Dean Hanley. But after the race, he will get some redemption, I'm sure, if that is the case. But Matt Cotter making another fastest lap of the race, and he probably needs to at this point. 7 laps to go. He's been on those soft tyres for quite some time. How is he still putting in fastest laps? I'll tell you what, it's because he's an absolute alien. That's why. But down here, the teammate battling is just starting to heat up now. McEwen on the back of Nick Mello. 7 laps to go. It's going to be over in the blink of an eye, ladies and gentlemen. And Will Kirk, I think, might just have to settle for second, because as we were talking about that strategy, it doesn't make sense for Cotter to be going this long as well. If he needs to pit, he probably should do so now or never. So we'll see just what he does next time around. He goes around one more time. So I think Matt Cotter might just be in the hot seat to take the victory this time around, Lindsay.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. With an 8-second lead, 6 laps to go, you'd have to gain over a second a lap at this point, and I don't think that even the likes of Alex McEwen will be able to pull that one off. But we say that he's now cleared his teammate Nick Mello. Now next up on his list to try and get past is the captain, and that should be a bit easier considering he's on fresher softs compared to Kirk's, what I imagine would be pretty second-hand hard compound tyres at this point as well. So definitely it should be a reasonably easy move for McEwen, but you say that. Definitely we've seen him just being a little bit more reserved, and at this point he has no reason to just absolutely wring the neck out of it, so he should be by at any point in time. But yeah, I think Cotter has this one in the palm of his hand at this point on lap 70 of 76, and this has been absolutely cracking stuff so far, and there's still a little bit to go, as that was a mistake there on the entry to the final corner from the captain. And now here comes Alex McEwen. Easy does it, and down the inside, and easy does it into turn 1, gets it done.
Whoa.
And now here comes Nick Mello showing the nose, a bit snappy on the brakes there, and now this invites the captain to try the outside on McEwen. It doesn't work, and now he gets hip and shouldered off the racing line again, and Nick Mello now makes it P3. So it's Cotter from McEwen and Mello the top 3, and I don't think that this fight will be done just yet. I think McEwen might book it off into the distance, but Will Kirk could attack Mello, especially once those softs get more and more worn towards the end. I think that it could come back to him.
Yeah, another 5 laps to go, and these guys have been going on those softs for quite some time still. So I think it's still wide open there for the minor placings. Matt Cotter, however, still out there, just pumping out low 56s. So he's found his range and found his pace. So he's loving life out there in front and just turning the screws as well. What a comeback here from Alex McEwen as well. He was down there in the thick of it, but managed to get it all going late on in this race, and made some overtakes when we thought he might not have been able to. And as always, making us look stupid. Nick Mello there sitting in third. I think him and McEwen both on the same sort of same strategy there in their final stint. So they're both on about the same tyre wear strategy. Will Kirk, as we said, it might come to him as these guys start to die off in front. So he just really needs to focus right now on hitting his marks and making no mistakes. That's his name of the game. Down here, though, they're battling it out. The two Mustang, no, it's a Mustang and Camaro. Scott caught him up the inside of Andrew Ferguson. Fergie's got the got the suck, and now he's got the inside run, just a slight overlap, and caught him maybe looking for an inside out, but I don't know if that's the line you want to be taking. Ferguson around the outside, that is a track cut, but maybe he's kept them up his sleeve and using them tactically at this point. You do get 5 chances to cut the track here, ladies and gentlemen, in ACO Racing. The 6th time will be a forced drive-through through the pit lane. So a little scenic route there, but I think it all worked out in the end with Scott Cornham getting past Andrew Ferguson. A little bit of contact there with the blue flagger. It's not what you want to see, and Ferguson won't be too happy with that. But I'll tell you what, P6 he'd be pretty happy with as well, considering his qualifying pace coming in wasn't that great.
Yeah, and it's been a fairly solid performance from everybody on the grid. I feel like Hanley definitely a bit unlucky. He looked really strong in race 1, and Zach O'Reilly gave him the good the good cheer on, but I guess the commentator curse works even when you're not inside the commentary box, it seems.
Yes.
And Hanley's had a bit of a disaster class race too here, as Nielsen looking the inside, but as well, so is Hanley, as there's a little bit of contact at the final corner there. And it looks like Nielsen and Fergo still just giving each other the shoulder. That's a car really slow on the exit of the final corner. That's Fergo.
What is going on?
What has
What's
happened?
he doing there? I think that's a hardware failure. He looked like, well, it's anyone's guess. That is insane. What the hell was happening there? Oh, no, Hanley.
Hanley.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
He's spinning like a dreidel there down at turn 3. What is going on? Everyone's just lost their minds straight away. But what the hell happened to Jack Ferguson? Chime in the chat, Fergo, if you're around. What the hell was that? It looked like he was stopping to do a burnout on the, start-finish line. There's still 2 laps to go, so I don't know what the hell's going on there in that household. Perhaps a terminal hardware failure for him. But here goes Nielsen on the outside of Elliott. He's going to send it around the outside, and Elliott giving him just a perfect amount of room. That's how you go racing, ladies and gentlemen. No tears, no one getting spun around, and they're going to battle it out into turn 1 as well, with the SimBlacks driver getting the better of it now up the inside. They're still side by side now, and Nielsen finally just getting in front of him for a top 10 finish. Up front, though, Nick Mello is just getting a little bit closer. What? Is this the end? It is the end. There goes. Oh, goodness me. Matt Cotter has finished the race, 76 laps, in the lead. So that's the win for Matt Cotter. My timing tower not alerting me to that, but that's the win there for Matt Cotter.
I think he's headed onto the final lap.
Is this the final lap? Yeah,
I think it's the final lap. He's still pushing. It should be white flag, I think.
Yeah.
Because it was showing lap 75, and that's the leader's lap.
That's what I thought.
It's not the lap of the car you're following.
Yeah,
So,
very, very strange indeed.
Yeah, Cotter's heading through 6 on the final lap.
Well, here we go. We'll pick up with the race winner now. Matt Cotter has done everything right this lap, this race. He's had the advantage of the safety cars as well. Pitted at the perfect time. The strategy was on point. The pace was on point as always. And the aggression, as you would expect from Matt Cotter, as he crosses the line this time for the win in race 2. 76 laps down. And that is full points to Matt Cotter in race 2. He will celebrate in style. A little bit of drifties around the final corner, but his adversary there in the championship positions, just getting the jump on his teammate, 2/10 in it. Alex McEwen crossing the line in 2nd position with Nick Mello in 3rd place. That's a big points haul for Project 4 in the team championships. But I tell you what, it's going to be tight as a nun's cleft there for the championship positions individually between Cotter and McEwen. McEwen, maybe even just in front, considering the gap between those 2 guys in the first race. But Will Kirk hanging on. What a great result from him there in the SimBlacks 2 car. Beautiful stuff, and drifting it very nicely as well. In 4th position, Scott Cordham with a great result in the top 5. Andy Ferguson, Barbagallo's favourite son, does a great job there as well. And Ronald Marshall with the 2-0. Thank you, mate. He says, great call, boys, and top racing. As always, top racing. The call probably, I know from my point of view, could have been better. But
yeah, I'd agree with that.
That's one for next race. Lockie Grant in 7th position. Jason McFadden in 8th. Pearso in 9th. And Ryan Nielsen rounding out your top 10. What are your thoughts on that race, Lindsay?
That carnage, I think, is the only way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of contact. There was a pit wall involved as well, much like last race. Hanley found the ditch more times than he found the road. And there's just a lot of rubbing his racing moments, I think, is the best way to describe it. And I would still love to know what happened to
Jack.
Yeah, Jack. There we go. You've got me on that
one.
one.
Jack
Fergo. That was probably the most mysterious incident I've ever seen.
Puzzling.
Either his pedals died or he blew the engine.
Yeah.
Those are the only two options.
Well, I don't see how. Yeah, I just. It looked like he was going to do like a donut style.
Yeah, the
thing.
tyre tracks popped up behind him.
Yeah, across the
and then
line.
he spun.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably pedals.
It has to be, because you wouldn't be doing that, because he was in the midst of a battle as well at that time. So I don't think it's something you would try to do, even if it was the last lap. So yeah, very puzzling. Has to be a hardware failure of some description. But as we join the winner's circle now, Alex McEwen happy and pumping out the smoke. I think Cotter's blown his engine up because he's no longer on the move. He can't put his car up to the number one board. So there is your top three, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Cotter taking the win in the feature race here of the evening. It's going to be very close between him and Alex McEwen for the championship battle, which is coming to a culmination in the final round. Next time we go racing, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be Simmons Plains Raceway. So, wowee, you couldn't have picked a tighter circuit to decide the championship there. I'm very much looking forward to that. Nick Mello, third in this tonight's feature race as well. And don't count him out from this championship. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 guys that can probably win it. And that's win the whole lot here in AK Racing's Season 1 of Gen 3 Supercars. But I think it's time that we pulled the pin on this stream. I've been sitting here for quite some hours, and look, Scuzzy's in the chat. He says he's going to be racing in 2 weeks' time. That's good. That's going to throw a cat amongst the pigeons as well. One of the faster guys getting involved in that. Thank you to everyone at home for tuning in and watching. Thank you to all our commentators in the chat. Ron Marshall, we got BZ, Dweller 12 Fusion or Tucson says good job McEwen. We've got Scotty McEwen in the chat as well as Fabian Fitness, Ron Marshall as always, Kirsty Hanley, BZ. Can't go through you all because it's proven to be quite the popular little thing to do on a Sunday night if you're out there in YouTube land. So we thank you all. Thank you, Lindsay, for joining me eventually in the commentary box. It's been a pleasure. I don't think I've called a race with you for quite some time.
Yeah, it's been a minute, honestly. I can't think of the last time because I think I was with Zach for Hidden Valley.
Yep. Yeah, I was away for that one.
Or was that... yeah, you're away for that one. So what, Wednesday Cup something or other? Wednesday,
early...
Was it Long Beach?
Could have been. Yeah, in the Pragas,
well.
yeah. Yeah, so a season ago in the Wednesday Cup. So it was always a pleasure to have you there in the hot seat. And I hope everyone at home enjoyed that one. Next time out, we are going to be... I think the next time out is going to be the next Gen 3 race, as Wednesday Cup is still just getting organised for its next season. So it's probably maybe 3 weeks away at the earliest. So, yeah, a little bit of a hiatus now. Monday night, we might be getting some LMU sprint action, but that just depends on that game, Lindsay, and whether it's going to bloody load up for you.
I'll try. I don't know. I've been trying every week, same with Zach, and it just doesn't like AMD.
Yeah, I think that's something that developers need to sort out. But until then, everyone at home, thank you for tuning in. I think we're gonna cut it off there. It's been a cracking round of racing. I need to go and have some food. All those liveries out there that had anything to do with food, especially Joel Ashiak's delivery of the KFC in the first race, just had me salivating every time I looked at it. That's it. It's a problem that I need to have sorted out. I'm just a fat boy and I love my food. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we will be signing off for tonight's racing here at AK Racing's Gen 3 V8 Supercars Championship. Next time around, it's going to be the last round. And hopefully, if you want to join us, Lindsay, that'd be great. We can triple team it together. What do you think about that?
I'd be more than happy to if work scheduling works with it.
That's what it's all about. Balance of life and sim racing. So let us know in the DMs if you want to join us for that. We'll save you a seat out there in Tasmania, and we'll save you a bit of catering as well. Thank you to everyone out there for joining in. It's time to sign off. My name is Chris Munro, the Mullet Man, and in the hot seat tonight is Lindsay Muddle. And until next time, we are SimSational TV. Keep it flat out. Clean start from everyone. Look at Matt Cotter getting super taily off the front